G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach Swordplay. Talkback live for round 7. Hope that you're all well. Tell you what, a few people up and about, some big scores out there this week. Looking at a 2,500 plus myself, so hope you're all going well. Got Logs here in the comments. Hey lads, 25.30 for me. There's one of those 2,500 pluses. Nice work, mate. But most importantly, a win from them baggers. So, mate, isn't it good to see the baggers up and about? I know that Janath went to the game and a very, very happy man. A very happy man is Janath. I went and saw Brisbane Sainers on the weekend. Also got lucky enough to get a really nice invite into the Herald Sun corporate box for Anzac Day. So I was not a Pies or a Don supporter, but the experience was just absolutely amazing. So, yeah, had an absolute ripper weekend, to be quite honest. I don't really like, geez, hey, brother, just end my Supercoach season now. Take me out back and just, what's going on, mate? Talk to us, mate. What happened this week? Look, this is a place to rant and rave, mate. So get something off your chest, mate. What's going on at the moment, buddy? Andrew Harland, hey, mate. Hey, DR, got a 23.38. Very, very good, mate. Look, the 2,500 plus scores are certainly out there, but for the 2,300 people, it's all good. You know, you're going to come back, mate. You're going to come back. I had a shocking start to the year. So, yeah, if you've had a bad round, don't worry. Remember, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Useless Supercoach. Wish I could say I was the one looking at the big score. 23.02. Midfield is all on fraud watch. I think the midfield generally, apart from those really big boys, mate, they're getting pretty hard to rely on week upon week, aren't they? But you'll bounce back, brother. Jeremy Bell, hey, man, 25.46 if you don't mind. Well done, Jez. Nice work, bub. Triple Blue, 26.38 for me. But the Catters went down. I'm conflicted. Yeah, isn't it tough, mate? When your team goes down, but you smash it in Supercoach, that is a ripping score. Where you ranked at the moment, brother? Let us know because you'll be, flying up wherever you are. Joshy Frank, hey, man, 24.46. Nice work, mate. 2,400 plus. Cause it the ladies, man. Hey, buddy. 23.93. Had 4 promos under 100. Also 70 points lost on rookie roulette. Isn't that frustrating, mate? You know, you look at someone like a Cleary, 89 this week, 30 the week before. What do you do? But shout out to my man, SPP. I love that man. I love that man. Like, he's just dominated for me the last few weeks. Geelong Cats Collector. Hey, man. Hey, DR. Hope you had a good week. Cheers, buddy. 25.75. Could have been higher with Cleary on field. Hey, can't complain with it. 25.75. Well done, brother. Andrew Rutchek. Hey, buddy. Just short of 2,400. A decent score, mate. Went safe with Dicuss, and then every C option after him outdid the 125. I feel you, brother. My 2 options were going to be either Brayshaw or Cherry. And, yeah, either way, I would have got, more than 30-odd points. So, a little bit frustrating. But, look, after what other people have done, like I haven't got a super bad captain this year, but I know other people that have gone Sherry for the captain, for example, and got those 80s. No different scenario. He was injured and all the rest. But I just thought a 125, I'll just be safe and take it. But yeah, one of those weeks where you lose out doing that, but plenty of weeks where you win out when you are a little bit safer, mate. Fevolution, 26.06. Nice work. Flynn's Sanity got me very hyped. Now, Scobes did put in the chat. Now, Scobes is with the kids tonight. Josh is out as well. So I'm flying solo for now. I may get someone come on during the night. We'll have to wait and see. But Flynn's Sanity, yeah, I think Scobes put out that, is it 70-something K? Yeah, it's a really nice rise, whatever it is, mate. And hopefully keeps your spot next week. And that's probably all that we need, to be quite honest, mate. No, we want 3 weeks, don't we? But we'll still make some decent coin in that anyway. Logs, hey, man, the pick with you and Scoops is a classic. Yeah, caught up with Scoops at the footy. So big shout out, actually. Got a few shout outs. So caught up with the great Scoops. And look, some people give it to Scoops, but I love Scoopsy. So, yeah, great to catch up with a legend. Have a quick chat there. There was Clayton as well, massive Supercoach fan, as well as Angus. A couple of other boys. There was Tristan as well. Jonathan was the other one. So plenty of great lads at the footy. Had some great conversations as well, Supercoach-wise. But, yeah, really good to meet all you lads. It was, great weekend of footy for me. But, yeah, great to have a chat with Scoopsy. Hey, legend. Hey, Dill. How are you, buddy? How's your week been, mate? Dan's Pigeons. Hey, DR. Hey, mate. I'm Daniel the Swans fan. Oh, Danny. Yeah, awesome, mate. Very disappointed today the team's performance, but salvation comes with a score of 26-33. Nice work, Dan. So, yeah, so I actually ran into Dan during the grand final festivities, and a wonderful, wonderful fella. And again, someone I had a great chat with. So, yeah, hope you're going well, man. And look, you're a good team, the Swannies. You know, blood's culture. You'll get back, mate. But what a score in Supercoach. Similar to the Catters fan before. Yeah, your footy team doesn't go well, but your Supercoach team does. At least your weekend's half okay, I suppose, isn't it, mate? Rogue Ride, hey, man, 24.89, very solid, mate. Forward line already complete. Might be a new record. Hoping to build after that defense now. Yeah, so lots of people are different, aren't they? Like, some have really gone heavy down back. Like, I've only got one more, if I count Roberts as a keeper, to fill my back line. Probably 2 on the forward line. I don't know if I'm going to trade this week, because I haven't got much banked. I did a lot of work last week. Jessica Spell, hey, Jess, 25-17. Do you know what? Did I get that? I think it was either myself or Spillsy that got that. What do I get? Very quickly, Jess, I might have just been under that, mate. Sorry. No, 25-13 for myself. So, yeah, just outdid me there. Well done. Best Supercoach season already. Yeah, that's awesome, Jess. Congrats, mate. Well done. D-Mac, hey, man, who's the best forward option out of Track, Rankin, and Warner to bring in this week? Well, we'll need to check out all the break-evens and all the rest, mate. But, look, I'd be saying Rankin. If I'm talking about consistency, quality, and what they've produced so far this season, then without a doubt, I'm going Rankin first. I'm then going Track, and then I'm going Warner. But I'm guessing Warner's going to be definitely the cheapest out of the lot. And if you just want to maybe slide him in while he's cheap, then you can do that, mate. But in regards to quality, I definitely think Rankin is the man that I'd be going to anyway, buddy. Is a man, Big J. Oh, Scoop. Hey, Big J, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? How's things going?
Mate, very good. Now, Scoops, I've just chucked that in the comments there, mate. How's your week been, mate? Have you had a very solid one? Have you gone 25?
Well, what are we considering to be solid? Is probably the starting point.
Okay, I'm saying solid's got to be what, 24-15. I'm saying is solid.
24-50.
24-50. What do you reckon? What are you saying solid?
Probably 2,500 plus is probably the solid mark. I think there's so many of these primos that are going big. I think like every ruckman barring Flynn went big as well. I mean, if you've got Briggs, then maybe not, but all of those guys going big. Couldn't really go wrong with quite a few other primo options as well. Like Brayshaw went big, Cherry went big, Dicuss went big. Heck, even like Feasel went big as well. So, yeah, it's that there's a lot of like you got Lockie Neal in your midfield, another one that just went big as well. So, yeah, you beat me by 1 point. So,
oh wow, there we go, mate. I've noticed in the content creators group that we've got, there's very similar scores there around that low sort of 2,500s to pushing a few 26s. Not quite there. But been a big week for lots of people, mate. And I'm a Chocky owner. I went to the game expecting a 70-odd. I just thought Windy's going to just wear him like a glove. It's going to be a bit of a tough watch. But, yeah, luckily enough, started off on the cluggage, and Lockie got a bit of freedom against the Saints, which goes to show sometimes that, look, we don't call it. Is it luck? Like, surely most Lockie Neal owners are going into that game thinking that he's going to get a fair tag from Windy. I certainly did anyway, but luck of the draw was that Ross, the boss, had different ideas and said, no, we're going to try to stop Huey, who's been extremely damaging on the inside and the outside. So I can see why they've decided to go with Huey, because even in the Lockie Neal tag games, we've still managed to find a way to win most times and not. So a very happy owner. We've got the man here as well, Big J. Scoops, how are you, my friend?
Profile picture too.
Welcome. I had to change it for the big occasion, and thanks DR for the link. I'm very happy that I commented on your stream very quickly before the comments. Well, they already flooded, so I had to wait 5 minutes. But it's an improvement on half an hour for you to catch up to the comment because you get so many. So I'm glad I got within 5 minutes worth of comments this time. So therefore, I got in relatively quickly. This is a new record for me in 5 minutes.
It's good to have you, mate. Now, I must say, when we got this great picture, I caught up with Scobes, had a pic, had a quick chat, and then the masses just came in for the selfies.
Yes.
I turned cameraman for a while there, and
Yes.
just taking a few pics of people as well. This man cannot go around Marvel Stadium without getting stopped for selfies,
No.
for autographs, and all the rest. So a
Yeah.
very popular man you were at Marvel. But tell us, Scoops, what did you think about the game? So obviously, you know, not fantastic from a Saints supporter, mate. Understand that. But is there light at the end of the tunnel for your boys, do you think? You still got faith this year?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, still got faith. I mean, it was you go. What do I really want to say, and what do I want to pretend to say? So yeah, look, I didn't expect us to go in winning the game, but I thought that Brisbane off a bad game. I mean, it could be a chance to do the same. Who'd you lose to again the week before? Collingwood, that's right.
Collingwood, yeah.
Even though they're good, but you were at home and got embarrassed for your standards, at least, or embarrassed in most team standards.
Yeah.
So I thought that was our best chance, but in saying that, we just got embarrassed by our bogey side, the Bulldogs, the week prior. So I mean, that didn't really help. So then I thought, okay, it'll kind of even it out. Then you go, okay, Brisbane are better, so that favours them. But then you go, okay, it's at Marvel, so then it's like that's another 50-50, you know. I still expected Brisbane would win. Like, if we lost, generally, like, say, 10, 15, 20 points, I'd be like, of course I'd be disappointed, but I'd be like, okay, at least it wasn't a smashing or whatever. Now, it ended up being a smashing, but I did briefly mention this to you yesterday. A fun stat for everybody. Now, we did not lose due to umpiring, and I'll be mentioning this on the podcast in the next day or two. But they had 11 free kicks from shots at goal, and 6 of them were goals. And the most embarrassing one of them all is in my vlog, which I'll end up putting out in the next few days as well, is Will Ashcroft threw the ball one-handed, by the way, and dropped it. And then bang, 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 and Neil got one of his goals from it. I'm like, this is screwed. This is the word I'll use here. It was screwed.
Yes. You're holding it back, Scoops. You're being disciplined here.
Yeah, well, you wait to the podcast. Now, every time I say it's the world famous segment Scoops Bang is explosive, when I say it's going to be explosive, unlike a lot of people that clickbait and clickbait headlines and views and want all that crap, when I say it's going to be explosive, it will be. Now, it's not just because of that. I've got 4 topics, and I think there's a lot of them that people will agree with me on, maybe not the Saints part, but they'll definitely, well, they're fools if they don't, but they'll may agree with me on the other topics. And the main one I'll mention here is the Paul Curtis. It's not SuperCoach related, but Paul Curtis suspension is quite laughable. And the game, if it hasn't been already, is dead.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
It's going to be interesting what happens with Paul Curtis. There was a couple of ones that were similar that Nick Martin did this week as well. Sorry, not Nick Martin. Nick Watson did this week.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yes, yeah.
But they obviously didn't result in a concussion, whereas the Paul Curtis one did, and that's probably the only thing similar to what happened with Jackson Archer a couple of weeks ago, where I think the tackle, the bump, it was okay, both players going for the ball, but because the opposition did end up being concussed, then you get kind of stuck, and it's cool. You've got a concussion. Well, that means that the other player shouldn't have tackled. Well, then too bad for you. You're just kind of stuck with what you get, which isn't a nice thing for players.
No, it's not.
But like fans just get shafted, you know.
Yeah, what I don't like though about it is they should stop waiting for the damn outcome to happen. If you think the action is bad, then suspend them for the action. Stop waiting for them to be concussed and say, "Oh, now you get weeks." But if you do the same thing and you don't get knocked out, you'll get none or one or worse. Where they're waiting for you to be knocked out or whatever to make it. And that's what people are pissed off about. Not just the Curtis one. You mentioned Archer, the same thing. I mean, you could actually argue that Cleary could have got suspended even though he got knocked out. He could have been suspended for that technically with the below the legs, whatever you call it. And then
Archer thought it was going to be a free kick to him because he got taken out at the legs.
That's
like
right.
Any
and
other game that would have been free kick to Archer, play on, do whatever. But I don't know. I feel like North Melbourne get hard done by. We half win a game and then it's we got to stick them in the butt, you know.
You were very good yesterday, your mob, then. Now, I've been criticising them a lot lately, but then so they deserve to be criticised. But this week, they deserved, besides that first quarter, that was horrendous. But besides that, they were pretty good. And I don't know if you feel the same. I feel like they blew chances late, like Zerha and Larky and not just shots at goals, but like delivery inside 50. They could have capitalized on one more where the last disposal or something kind of stuffed them up a little bit. I thought they did really well though, but they could have stole that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to jump on Twitter at the moment and see if I can find the Caleb Daniel stats from the game. But he was atrocious. I saw some stats the other day, yesterday, saying like out of his 22 kicks, 8 were kick-ins, 5 of them resulted in goals for the opposition. Turned over a bunch of kicks and a few other things as well. So it's not what we like. It's great for us in Supercoach land, but it's not exactly what we want as a player, right? Designated kicker, and half of his shots are going to the opposition or resulting in goals because you're kicking it to someone that's under pressure.
He did have 5 turnovers. I'm having a look at it here for you. He had 5 turnovers at 77, and he did have 8 kick-ins that you mentioned. Look, it's not his best game, but he's been a pretty handy pickup for you. But I'd be more questioning.
The player's good. Yeah. It's just about getting him honed out. Is it a midfield problem? Is he not kicking to the right players? What's happening? But
that could be a whole range of things, kind of with people's positioning and not everyone just taking the easy way out and not, some of it's predictability. I think they need to lock in Sheasel's role though too. Not even just Supercoach related. Like, where is he playing? Is he playing halfback? Is he playing midfield? What is it? It seems to change every quarter or game sometimes.
Yeah. It's good for us, though, DR. We got the 134 this week. So a few people traded him, but we held firm. And 134 is not bad.
Yeah, I traded him about 3 weeks ago and traded him to bloody Zorko. And then he gets 3 70s in a row. And then yesterday, he finally decides to crack a ton against us. But in saying that, do you reckon he was robbed of a little bit of points, DR, or not really? Because a lot of them were on his own, though.
Yeah, it's really funny. I know that Abs put a tweet up and actually invited Champion Data and Fantasy Freako onto his channel to try to get some sort of an explanation as regards to some of the scaling and the whys. But lots of the replies he got is basically, look, you're not going to get it, mate, because there is that much secret sauce to it. It's not funny and it's almost impossible to explain. So you do, mate. You compare some stat lines at times and you even, balance up the contested as well as the uncontested, and they're vastly different. We're talking 30 to 40 points sometimes, but then people say it's due to, that the impact of the game, when they're getting those points. Like Dale last week was on, I think, 23 at half time, ended up on 30 plus touches, I think, and ended up around the 90 mark. But they think that his damage was done in a lot of junk time and not really when the game was on the line. So it's really hard to work out, mate. I feel, and it's probably biased being an owner, that he was a little bit ripped off, but at the same time, I think he could have been a lot more damaging with those posies that he had, mate.
I reckon there's a few midfielders that could feel a bit shafted in general too. I thought Caleb Sarong continues for this year, gets shafted a little bit in points. I know some people like to say the points he's getting is earned, but I feel like sometimes he's getting a bit undervalued for points and everything like that, because he's, like, people say like he's not doing much damage, but then you look at it overall, he's having a lot of clearances all the time and score involvements and stuff, and he's popping up for a goal here and there too.
Very true, mate. Very true. Well, Footy Degenerate, A-Legends, hope being well. Thanks, man. 25.74 for me. Reed clearing, been all stuck on the bench. Could have been right up there. Wow. Well, that's where I got a little bit lucky this week. Most of my rookies performed. So my lowest on field was Levi Ashcroft. So I'll certainly take that. We think about last week with the Trainer 2s, the Reed 30s, the Cleary 30s, some with Moraes on field. It was a bit of rookie carnage last week, but this week for me at least, it's been a little bit more positive, which is good. And we also had, just quickly, something I want to quickly talk about here was Bailey Dale. Now, there are a couple of blokes that were saying that, here we go, Cheesy was saying that as well as Jason. Bailey Dale killing me every week. Yeah, he's killing me as well. I'm a Bailey Dale owner, and I jumped onto him from Jaden Short. And to be honest, I don't know if he's even outscored Short during the time that I've owned him. So with Dale, super frustrating, but I think he's someone I'm just going to continue to hold, just try to get as many rookies off field at the moment. That's my strategy rather than going a Dale up to, I know different lines, but DPP at Butters, for example. I'm just trying to get as many rookies off field as possible. But yeah, Dale has been an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
those players, what do you do with players like any premium in that price? Do you obviously, like you mentioned, you want to focus on your rookie upgrades at premiums. That's the whole point of making the money, right? And I've always gone by that. But there's sometimes a point like the Crippses and the Olivers and the underperforming 600k premiums in whatever position, or ones that you're not sure on their role and they keep changing. Do you dump them for some that you're confident in? Because the sideways trading is always a shit one to do. And I mean, I've done 2 this year, and one of them backfired, and that was Sheasel when I went to Zorko.
Yeah, it's a really good question, Scoops. Big J, what were you going to say, mate?
For myself, it really depends on how your team's going. So if I look at DR's team, for example, you've got a couple of people in the midfield there, a Chera and an Oliver. Let's pretend all your other rookies are scoring good enough numbers for you to keep them on field and keep them scoring, which is kind of what you're looking at. I would go, okay, who's actually going to drop a little bit in price that I could potentially pick up and then sideways a Chera or an Oliver to those players, because they're both not going to be keepers, right? You're not going to finish off your team with Chera and Oliver in your side. So
ideally not. Yeah.
If I look at it, well, Sinclair's 50 points from Chera, and he's got a really good favourable run or matchup coming up. Let's try and offload him for that player. Let's go and grab let's go and grab a guy who we think is going to be a keeper in the position. And it's the way to kind of look at it from there. So, I myself did a similar thing, and, Merritt's not been great recently, but I did that and got Merritt, did that and got Brayshaw, did that and got dicuss as well into the side. So 3 guys that I didn't start with, but 3 guys that I picked up when they had either dropped in price or had a pretty favorable matchup coming up. So it's always nice. Like, if you don't want 100 scoring on your bench, so if you can get rookies scoring 80s and 90s, which is what you've got, then where else can the money go? Where can I get the advantage? Okay, start to offload some of these underperforming primos, because you look at an Oliver or a Chera. If you had gone up to Hewitt this week, it's an extra 30 points. If you had gone up to a bunch of other players, it would have been a similar thing. That's what's kind of killed my team this week. Is I got Dawson that's underperforming, got Chera, got Oliver. If I had gone Lockie Neal instead of Dawson, well, there's an extra 80 points. It's
frustrating.
It's just the way that it kind of figures out.
What about guys like Paddy Cripps and I don't have the next guy, but Tom Stewart? Like, at that point, they're dropping so much or stagnating.
I would say if you can get someone who you can actually say is probably a good top 8 player, then sideways those underperformings to get those good players in.
Gotcha.
If the guy's not going to be top 8 in the position, then they're up for grabs. So you can trade them out.
Do you feel like though with someone like Cripps, I don't know, as I said, I don't have Stewart though. Do you think though if their price drop is so? Yeah, I don't want Tom Stewart, but I'm just saying, like, if you've got guys like that have dropped so much already, does it get to a point where you just now that they've dropped so far, you just got to suck it up and keep them? Because then what are you going to waste all your cash gen money on an actual expensive premium when that premium you're trading could potentially somehow get back, and then you waste that money on your premiums?
You can't keep them all year, but if they're scoring less than the rookies have got on field, then you have to kind of think about it a little bit. Yeah,
because Cripps is just going bang average SuperCoach, getting around the 90, 110, if that.
Yeah,
it's just
that's okay for now. But if he's your lowest scoring player on average on field, that's not going to make you money, then hey, he's probably the next one to go.
Yeah, no, I've still got a few rookies before him. I've got Murphy Reed that I might say goodbye to this week, and then obviously the other one is Levi in the midfield, but he's going okay. But if I can get rid of them both, ideally. But then I've got those forwards that are a bit controversial. The only premium, actually, no, I've got 2 rookie defenders, but Bice is going well. So
Bice is going very well, isn't he?
How good is he?
I tell you, I can't believe what's happened. I don't think anyone that started SPP, and I was going to say 3 consecutive tons, but the buggers took 2 points off him to give him a 98. I was spewing about that. I just wanted to say 3 tons in a row to be able to say it, but cannot complain whatsoever. I thought that ton was just one that was out of the bag, but to deliver basically 2 tons after that is just amazing. And just say if you can put another one on, then sky's the limit for this man at the moment. But we've got a great guest in here. SuperCoach God, how are you, mate? How's your weekend been?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, weekend's been good. It started well with a Anzac Day win. I went, so that was great.
Nice.
Yeah, try to go every year, so that's good. Good to get the wood over them for 3 out of the last 4 times. Draw the last time, obviously. But yeah, SuperCoach wise, yeah, not great. I think I've got the claim to fame with possibly the best bench in SuperCoach. But apart from that, it's not. I don't have a Gorn or a Sherry. I've got Matt Flynn at R2. So that's just.
Well, Flinny's doing all right, mate. Flinny's doing all right.
Nah,
that's all right.
It's all right. We got to get Sherry in this week, though. We got to get Sherry in this week. There's no if buts or maybes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I did scroll down. We've got a question about that, so we're going to get to Cherry in a sec, mate. We'll get to this one. AFL 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, man, can I run both Neil and Dunks in the same team? I want to upgrade the midfield, but not sure. I think that fine to run in the same team, mate. If you want to do that, if you're keen on both players. Andy, trade in Martin, scores poorly. Trade out Humphrey for him, gets to a 140. Isn't that just a kick in the guts, mate? Isn't that a kick? Humphrey hasn't looked like it. Has not looked like it the last few weeks after. I'm guessing you brought him in, and then you bring Nicky in. Looks terrific last week in particular, and just does not do anything. So feel for you, brother. That is very, very tough luck. Worth going from TDK to Sherry. So this is a 1. Gorn is my R1. This is a tough one because
probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say TDK at the moment. There's no real need to trade
Cherry
there. Like, you could, couldn't you? Well,
you can't yet. You can't.
That's the trouble, isn't it?
Flynn's
that's what I was going to say.
Way too much money.
So Gorn, TDK. Look, if you haven't got Flynn in the flex, you could do that. Get him in the flex, but you're really committing to that flex for the year, ideally, aren't you? Because unless you're planning on trading out TDK, but until I see an absolute stinker or a Pitto or something like that, I just think he's one that I'm going to hold. I certainly don't have luxury personally of trading someone like a TDK. Boys, anyone a fan of trading out TDK for Sherry or?
Nah.
No?
I knew.
No, I got both.
Nice scoops.
Some people did TDK to Flynn thinking that Pitnet would come back, but I don't think that's ever going to happen anyway. So he's it's a bit silly, I think.
Yeah, nice. Also stuck with the dicuss VC Rogue, but it's a decision you make every week. Yeah, I lost points as well on that one, brother. Harvey, thoughts on Dale going forward? Yeah, we had a quick chat about Bailey Dale, mate. Look, he's not going to be right up there. He's not going to be right up there with the best defenders. I'm pretty confident of that by now. But for me, I'm just holding for now and just focusing on those rookies. But yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that he's going to be a fantastic pick moving forward and one of those luxury upgrades if you can. I'm hoping that Roberts can just stay in the team, so I might have the luxury to upgrade him at some stage.
I might get CEO.
So, Big J?
I might get Roberts this week. We'll see how we go, but Roberts might be my in this week.
Did you trade him out? So you're going to reunite with the X?
Yeah.
And
I shouldn't have, but it was just silly. I shouldn't have, but if he's going to be under 500k, I think he's pretty good to be a keeper for the year. So him and Petrarca and a few others are around that kind of realm for myself. So, yeah.
Well, I know a couple of people, mate, that traded out Horn France and traded him in again. So it's not a pride thing. If you think he's the best player at that price, then go, mate. We've all done it. Look, remember back to the Nick Martins, the Hayden Youngs, and all that from last year, mate. We've all done it, mate. Believe me, definitely all done it.
I got back with this man after holding him for 5 weeks. I held him for 5 or 6 weeks. I don't even know how long it was, but I've reunited, and it's the best thing you can do.
It was like a short-term relationship for you. I just had a quick fling. I started him at flex and then just said, see you later after he was dropped the first week. But you held faith, mate, and you've got him back again. So I'm glad that you two are back together, mate. I think it was something that was just meant to be, mate.
There was a lot of
romance. Making me think, who the hell is this? That's a Giants player, isn't it?
That's Matt. That's Matt Flynn from when he was on the Giants.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say.
West Coast now.
Yeah.
Clear on the bench. Rails, 6 frees against, killed my spirit. Yeah, gee, you can give away a few freezy, can't you, really? Shield's got me worried. Yeah, a real shot. Look, I'd planned on bringing him in. But, yeah, the way he's going, I just don't think there's any need. Like a Dale, do you really see him as being top 6, even though it's, bargain territory? I think we need to see more. High Legend, Danick, 25-22. Nice, mate. Hoping Dacos got less, so I could have captain Brayshaw. Yeah, it was a tough one, mate. It's right on the threshold for me, that 125. Feel like the best score of the round will be pushing 2,800.
I agree.
That Big J, that there was a 2,800 out there.
I saw a 27. Someone had 2701.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can get 2,800 though. Like,
I saw
you must just have no rookies, have all the premiums, Marek, Humphrey, Flynn. Like, if you must have no bad players at all.
It's out now.
It's out now, is it? Are we live?
Yeah.
Yeah, they decided to go a lot quicker now with SuperCoach, it looks like. So
yeah, was it that first
great?
Or?
How great! I moved from 24,000 to 23,000. Just so good.
Well, that's a green arrow, mate. It's a green arrow.
It's a green arrow. I'll tell you what, but oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
Alrighty, Rush, reckon par 24.50. Yeah, I reckon you're pretty close, mate. I reckon you're pretty close. We'll be able to tell right about now. All right, so for me, 25.13. I went up to 4,069 from around the 6K mark. So 4,069 now. So I went up 2K with that. So yeah, probably.
Par's probably 450, yeah.
24.50. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, mate.
I thought I did well. Then during the West Coast game, halfway through the game, I looked at the scores in leagues and I thought, what the flip?
Yeah, Flynn definitely. A few people ended up having a pattern on the field and missed out on a read or a trainer. And then Flynn scored 25 points ish more than his projected, and it kind of pushed a few people over the line.
Yeah. So he was on 48 or 49 at halftime too, Flynn.
Yeah, it was like
Flynn's
42.
He's still got
that's
a negative 45 break even.
Who, Flynn?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. There's your cash gen. Flynn to Bontempelli in a couple of weeks.
Oh my god.
Imagine if you took that VC of Gorn, just say if you're going away for the weekend, you're nice and early, lock it in, Patton. You're my loophole there. Chuck the C on Patton.
Yep.
And then you come home, you get reception as you're driving home tonight. You're looking at it and you're like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, we have the community team there. So we've got the community team. And unfortunately, Joe manages that and was at the Essendon game. And actually, we went Max Gorn VC into Gorn C. And he didn't actually... Sorry, Max Gorn VC into Merritt C. So he didn't actually put the VC on a non-playing player. So we lost out 80 points just having Merritt on field instead. And yeah, it's not fun.
Oh, mate. Mark Lavelle, well, 25-30, my biggest score ever, thanks to JP going and needing to hold Humphreys. Nice. We are absolutely equal this week, mate. The same. Nice work, Mark. Phil, hey, man, your Marek got me 5 in A grade. Oh, mate. Sorry about that, buddy. I gambled track, but just short. Well done. You're up the rankings this week. Appreciate you, mate. That was a close match, Phil. I was watching that one with great interest, mate. Can't believe I got that over the line with the great man. Maxi Holmes and a few other primos not going great for JCR. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, mate. Jeez, it hurts, doesn't it? As Big J said, some like Lockie Neal this week when he got a different type primo. It's good. It's like a roller coaster at times, isn't it? DMAC, who could downgrade to this week? Seems very bare. Omac an option. Now, Omac is he in for Dogger at the moment? Is that why Omac's in the side?
And a mix of him and Voss as well. So I think Voss is out with suspension. And then he came in when Voss got out. And then Jackson got injured the week that he played his first game. So he stayed in the side, I'm pretty sure.
Because he was he was playing the second ruck role, wasn't he?
Second ruck forward, I think.
Yeah. Look. Yeah, I'm not sure about...
Is Voss still out for 2 weeks?
Was the suspension 3?
Maybe next week he's back.
Okay. Well, I think Jackson got injured 2 or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Or 3. 2 or 3.
Holy moly.
Ooh.
I'll
cover him in the stocky.
Yeah, team of the week, 2724, as Geelong Cats Collective says here. But if you check it out, 2724.
2724.
And he's still got points on field too. He's got Ashcroft in the flex, so that could have been some extra money. And then Davidson on field as well. And Luke Ryan in the back line. He has done very good.
Wow, okay. Let's I might actually be able to do that.
Lads, what do you do if all your rookies have a low break even? I don't even know how I can try.
Sideways the primos. Get rid of the dud primos at that point. If you've got some cash, we're talking about it before. If you've got some cash and you've got a Chera or an Oliver, people like that who you're not necessarily happy with, it's the perfect week to move some of those players on.
Well, I guess it's insane to say that I have 3K in the bank. So
I don't know. Or you could literally go sideways trading, literally. That. But I'm looking at Zach Reed. He gets 91 or whatever he got, and and he went up 33.7K, and his break even's 48.
Yep.
Yeah,
you gotta hold him.
Yeah, no, I was hoping he'd be at 10 or something, not 48.
Once that 48 gets out, so if he does something decent again this week, then that would be very, very handy, Scoops. And then that low score drops out, and then there's a bit more money to make. Yeah, it was a big decision for lots. Trainer versus Reed, who to hold or who to trade if you needed to. And we were probably, I think, split down the middle in the last live when we were talking about it.
So was I. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up getting rid of Trainer just because I thought, well, I might need Reed's money soon as well. So
correct.
Yeah, very handy with that 90. I feel for those that went prior. It's a rookie roulette. So prior last week on field, most people had, I think, on the bench last week had Reed on field. So you do the swap, and then the opposite happens. So rookie roulette's been a bloody tough one. We got Dill here. Hey, legend. Week's been good, man. Hope you had a good break too. Thanks, man. 25-17. So many between, say, 2,500 and 2,520, I've noticed. Good score, mate. Coming to Melbs to watch the Pies. And my man, Caleb Strong, Friday in a strong shirt and beanie on the boundary. Love it, mate. Absolutely love it, mate.
Yeah, if you get a photo of him, Dylan.
Absolutely. He's a great man, Dill. Absolute legend he is. G-Bag, so is this man. Hey, given Cher's poor score on the weekend, should we consider moving him on to someone like Rosie or Sarong?
It's someone who I'm looking at myself. Just playing around with a couple of things at the moment. But yeah, I think could be time to go for him. As I said before, I don't think he's going to be keeper. Similar to an Oliver, I think he's probably scoring around that 105-ish mark. If he didn't have that groin thing happening, he might have got a little bit more points. But if you look at it, the way that they play, Hewitt's the number one. Chero just gets the scraps every week. So if he's your worst player on the field, you're more than happy if you want to say, hey, it's not working out. See you later, mate. It just doesn't work otherwise.
So 106, 113, 98, 99, 117, 110, and then the 81. So, look, it's a tough one because I think the way that I've used Sherry in my side is just he's a very safe player. Like before today, it's pretty much been 95 to 110, probably on the lower end of that. But he's just a player that I've got faith just to do a job for me. But you're right, mate. When you get a score like this in 81, if this is then followed up by, say, another 80 odd, then all of a sudden you've got a massive decision on your hands. Do you just keep faith and hold him to the buys and hope that he gets back to that sort of 100 to 105 range? Or, as you said, we're pretty confident he's in an ideal scenario. He's not going to be a keeper for us. Is this the time that you just go, goodbye? You've done a really good job for me. It's like take your winnings before you start losing. If you've won that money on the table, just go home, walk away. Don't go to the next table and put some more on.
For myself, with Chera, another benefit of getting rid of him is he's not going to be a top 8 keeper in the midfield. So, he's not better than a Bont, Butters, Brayshaw, probably Sarong and all the Brisbane fellas. So if you can offload him, then you're onto a winner there, probably just to start with, If you can go a non-keeper to a keeper in your team, then that's always a good thing in my books.
Yeah, look, I'd be going Chera out only if you are so dead set keen on another player to get in. Like you feel like they're a real must-have for me, and all must-have for me might be different to God, to Scoops and Big J. But if in your mind you think, yep, must-have player, really needs to get him inside, structure-wise, whatever it is, then yeah, I think you can. But personally, I'm personally looking to hold in my case just for now.
Hey, if you can go Chera to Bont or Butters, you're doing pretty well this week. So.
Oh, mate.
You're doing pretty good, man.
Oh, man.
Offload these 500k players and get in the top level primo mids. Like, no one has them. So if you've got a Bont or Butters, that's like super pot at the moment.
Can we get rid? Is there a world? Can we get rid of Ashcroft this week?
I think he's probably got 2 weeks left. He's playing Gold Coast this week.
Got his dad's medal up to grab.
I feel like he didn't have a great DR can tell us too, but I feel like he didn't have a great first quarter. Like he was on like 12 points or something and kind of just got missed. And does he normally start on the bench, DR, or does he normally start on field?
Normally, yeah. So normally he starts on the bench with his brother. And then from the games that I've seen, I can't tell you because I was a little bit late to this game on the Saturday, but the other 2 games that I have seen live, he's gone. So he started on the bench and then gone straight to half forward and then been in the next CBA, whenever that was. So it seems bench, half forward, and then he starts to get into those rotations. Whether or not that's going to change, I'm not too sure. But probably what I've noticed is a little bit of lack of damage in the last couple of weeks. His disposal count was right up. I think it was about 35 or mid-30s on the weekend. I've noticed he's been getting a lot of these really quick little handballs. Like he'll seem to get it and just very quickly. And they're like sometimes 2-3 meter handballs. And a lot of the time it's because he's under pressure. So I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but I think lots of these disposals are just these low, almost negative meters gained handballs. And at the time they're uncontested, but traffic's coming to him and he's got to have those really quick hands. So it feels like more of a contested possession, but it's actually uncontested. So that's just a little thing that I've noticed with Will Ashcroft.
Especially in that first quarter, it definitely felt like he handballed out of the congestion, but it was almost straight to the opponent a lot of the time too. Like he got the clearance. It's like, nothing.
Rushing a bit. Yeah. Whereas you look at someone like, and this is the difference between, and he's going to be a gun, and already he's North Smith medalist, but you compare him and his hands to Lachie Neale. It's amazing watching this bloke live. Like he's got the first handball option that most, I reckon, 70% of the comp would take, but he can see a better option and he's just got time and space. It's similar to a Pendles in a way, I think. His hands, Lachie Neale, are just magnificent. I think some of the best hands of all time. An absolute jet he is. Now, what was Sammy saying? Track and Dacos, big ins. Yeah. Hope you're going well too, man. 24.50 for legend. Nice, mate. Went Merritt over Brayshaw. Yeah, Joey went Merritt as well, didn't he? Big J.
From the community team. The community team definitely went Merritt. Joe actually beat me this week. I think he scored 24.56. Sorry, 24.46. So he beat me this week.
Nice. Shout out, Joey. Well done, mate. Also like to know if I've missed the bat on track or if you can still... No, absolutely. I don't think you have, mate.
He's only 497k. Like,
bring him in, G-Bags. If you're confident on track, I actually tweeted on the weekend before the match, and I said it's the first time I'm genuinely a little bit concerned that I don't own track in 2025. First time for the year. And after the first quarter, he was on bugger all, and people are going, you're still concerned? I said, don't worry. And ended up banging out his first ton of the year, and it was a decent ton as well. So, to answer your question, mate, absolutely bring him in if you want, I think. Izzy, hey, DR. Great to see you up and about. Cheers, man. 25.74, if you don't mind. Nice. Couldn't loop Zach Reed because of Patton played. Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it, mate? At least didn't captain Patton, mate. That could have been even worse. So Greek Raven, hey, man. Hey, guys. Merritt, Dale, Rao, still cracked 23.39. And look, that's the thing, mate. We've seen every one of these blokes go massive already this year. So if it's their week to go massive, then you're up in the 2500s. It's pretty much as simple as that, mate. And matchups, even if you plan for matchups, look at Lachie Neale. I planned for a 70, as I said. I thought there was a windy tag, but yeah, Ross obviously had other ideas there. Michael, hey man, congrats to those who went 2,500. Great scoring round. Yeah, cheers, man. It was
wouldn't know what that feels like in 2,500.
Oh, you'll get there, mate. You'll get there. Absolutely, mate. This is the thing. It can be so volatile.
Oh,
and
this year.
Players. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this year. Oh, I've won the weekly prize, as you know, so I have hit well over that before. But yeah.
Yeah, you have, mate. Absolute Supercoach royalty actually taking out the weekly prize, mate. I remember talking about that with you last time, mate. Yeah. Scotty McKay. Hey guys, long time listener, first time chatter. Welcome, Scotty. Great to have you here, man. 26-25. What a time to jump on board,
Nice.
Scotty. Well done. Super rat.
That's pretty good.
Is it the right time now to bring in Zorko since I didn't start him?
What's Brisbane's run next, DR? They got a good run coming up for.
Let's have a look. Geez,
Zorko?
16K. Oh, what? All right, so our run coming up. Let's have a look here. We've got Gold Coast at the Gabba, North, NIN. Where is that Tassie or some? I don't know. It's not the Gabba. No, that much. Melbourne at the Gabba, Hawks at the G, Essendon at the G.
Oh yeah, Ninja Stadium. Yeah, Ninja Stadium. So it's Tasmania.
Okay. Do you boys know about DFS matchups with designated kickers and stuff with Gold Coast, North, and Melbourne?
Yeah, you're talking about who kicks them out?
I don't have DFS Pro. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, so basically, Scoops, what it is you look at which teams are really good matchups for players that play in certain positions or have certain.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to head off.
Your general
I'll catch you guys later.
Back.
See you later.
See you later. Thanks for jumping on, Big J. Cheers, legend.
Catch you later,
on you, mate.
Ciao.
Yeah, it's
I kind of get what you're saying. I just never heard of the actual app or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so DFS.
Ryan Marrick.
It's absolutely elite, mate. So this way you get this way we've got lots of our data for stuff like the season guide. So in the podcast, mate, we'll talk about Zorko. I'll talk about him in the stock market and work that one out for you, mate. Jonas, is this the West Coke Wingers hotline? Wooden Spoon incoming. Jonas just got an absolute drive-by there to the West Coast fans. Murphy Reid for Flynn for me, worth it. This week for Theo. Geez, all right. So Flinny. So his break even. What did you say, God? It was Flinny's break even. Okay, negative 45. And we're paying what now?
Okay, so if
341.
341. If let's say he scores at 85 against Melbourne because it's freaking max scoring.
Yeah.
He'll go up 55K. And then if he gets, let's say against Richmond, he gets a 90, 95, and then Saints maybe a 90.
Yeah.
He'll go up about, what's that? 85K in 3 weeks. I don't know if I'd do it.
Yeah, it's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. But that's just based off the projections you've just said there. So, Theo, it also comes down to your personal projections on Flynn. Like, what do you think he's going to go? God just gave you some examples there. If he scores A, B, C, this is how much you go up. If you think you score more, same, less, then maybe base your decision on that. But we use this term a lot, meat on the bone. Probably not enough meat on the bone at this stage. But Murphy Reid saying that, his break even is now up to 64, I believe.
You got to get rid. I think you have to get rid of him.
64. Yeah, we're probably saying that Flynn just isn't the man probably at this stage.
Just upgrade. Try and upgrade.
Yeah, it's the right time to get rid of Murphy Reid though, mate. So you're definitely on the right track in regards to that trade out, I think, brother. Theo.
Yeah. Just one Supercoach one. Sorry for you quickly. Is it a concern if you've got? Well, Cleary, I've got on the bench, but I'll count him in this argument. Is it a bit of a concern, or that you have, that I have only one player in the minus break evens, or is that not really a thing now, where you're going to have as many on field ones?
A little bit.
I'll compare I'll just compare mine for a set, Scoops, just to give you an idea, mate. So I've got Carol, the negative 28 break even. Lindsay
on
with a
field.
-1. Oh, sorry, no, on field I've got no one.
Because I've got Carol and Gross then as well. If in Cleary, if I want to count like that, but I only got one on field.
That's all right, mate. When you got that, not necessarily on field.
Okay.
No, I think you're right, mate. No negatives on field are needed, I don't think, brother. As long as you got a bit of cash on the pine there, I think you're going right, mate. Yeah, that'd be a bit of a luxury.
Gross and Hall to play, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's that mini rookie roulette, isn't it, mate? You
bloody
just
McWalter.
don't know. Yeah, so Gross has gone from perform really well the week before to then being sub to then being relegated. And what can you do in a sub? Unless you're that super sub that comes on, has a huge impact, like some people do at times. What are you meant to do to try to impress the coach to get in the next week? So I don't know what he did in the waffle, actually, mate. He
got 22. He got or 25. He got.
Okay, so didn't smash it out of the park, but a solid.
I think he had the second most for his team or the most. So, I mean, he'll be in the conversation. But what I don't like is Hutchison's been playing midfield for West Coast in the AFL for the last 3 weeks, I think, and I'm not liking that. And then Brady Hoff played the midfield today without Kelly as well.
Did he? Okay, I didn't realise that coming. Interesting.
I only noticed that in the second half. I didn't like that. I was actually pretty pissed when I saw that. But so that's what you do to drop Gross in that. You want to play a backline player who's decent in the backline and in the midfield now. McWalter really annoying me this year.
Good point. I didn't realise that was the case, actually, Scoop. So that will definitely be a talking point, mate. The fact that he's decided to go that way over playing a Hall or a Gross.
And Hoff had 20 touches too. So
okay, that's definitely one to monitor, mate, for the team sheets and listen out for the news each week for sure, mate. Sabertooth, best SuperCoach score I've ever had this week, 24-32. Nice work, brother. Really happy. Just got to get ranking in my forward line. Love the vids. Congrats on the great week. Cheers, brother. And congrats on the best score. It's always just a head wobble moment, isn't it, mate, when you get your best score, mate? Not competing against anyone else, just against yourself. Well done, man. NV, hey, man, scored a 24-45, top 1%. Reckon I'll still go up in the rankings. Well, you'll be able to actually check that now, mate. If you're still here, let us know how you went, brother. So I've got so many. I did not really so many comments here. I will try to skip through these. Benno, hey man, extreme example, but same with attempted murder or murder though. You're charged by the result of the action.
I think this one was talking about Paul Curtis. I think this would be about.
I wasn't here for that. What do we think about that? What do you guys
I thought it was ridiculous. I thought, what else? They're waiting for the outcome to give them the lengthy suspensions. If they think the action's so bad, then which that'd be wrong, but suspend them for the action then if you think it's so bad. Not wait for them to be concussed for the same action, get treated differently and wait for them to be knocked out. Because what was Curtis meant to do? And in fact, this might sound ridiculous, but I actually thought he should have got the free for holding the ball.
Yeah, I think it was probably a push in the back. I don't, but
you can argue that one. That's fine. But the suspension part, I definitely thought it was ridiculous.
You can't suspend someone for a push in the back unless they push someone into a marking contest.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I mean. They waited for him to be concussed, and so if he wasn't concussed, is he getting suspended? Of course, he's not. So that's the bad part about it. And there's a few other examples we mentioned before, but that annoys me. I don't go for North. I couldn't care less, but it's just that they're doing that. And I've actually offended Paul Curtis, which is not why I'm saying it. He, by the way, DR, you know all the hate I copped last year for saying that Jack Higgins was the best small forward in the game last year? Well, he's equal. Wow. He's got the most goals for the small forward, and his second is Paul Curtis.
Coleman, incoming payment, mate. So if you're an AFL select card collector, if you get one of those Coleman predictor cards, then Jack Higgins, mate, maybe absolutely on the way for that.
Archer, I wouldn't like Ben King in 3-way goals either.
Yeah. Tell you,
now he's in front again.
I've lost my. Oh no, I'm back to my comments here. Sorry, Archer, 25.51. Hopefully into top 200 overall. Nice, man. Like OA legend, 25.50. Nice. Humphrey can get stuffed. Oh, mate, isn't that frustrating, dude? Isn't that frustrating? Anthony, lockout is lifted, brother. So I know I'm way behind. What to do with Dale? Yeah, we talked about that, mate. I'm probably just holding for now and then use him as one of those luxury upgrades if you can. Just get those rookies off field. Fair shout out to Spillsy's mum, Man, oh, sorry, Spillsy's mum. Jeez, I thought
Man,
Spillsy's mum.
a man.
Spillsy's man, Bice. Bice is
Right,
life.
Bice.
She's in your head.
You can trade now, Anthony. Jump on, brother. Jump on, my man. Stewie Fraser, hey, man. Is it time to grab Ash? I think
I had the chance to.
Serious consideration because he's just getting off the chain here. And I don't think that he's ever really going to cop much attention. I think, if anything, Whitfield will be the man to cop that attention. So, yeah, absolutely as a pod selection, I'll need to look at his price and break even. No, just quickly, Lockie Ash.
He's 472 with a break even of 89. He's quite expensive.
572, jeez. Yeah, 89.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my ranking now either, by the way. Seen it 2 minutes ago or so, and I want to throw the phone away and say this is bullshit.
Oh, mate, champion data, mate. Scoop says get stuff this week. Look at this. 122, 80, 95, 130, 137, 108, 140. So in the last month, West Coast, St Kilda, Adelaide, and the Dogs, he's gone 3 130 pluses. That needs respect. He needs respect on his head. He's gone up 116K. Look, the issue for me is paying up 572 for someone like a Lockie Ash who has not actually had the premium history. Now, we know that this is his year. It could very well be this year. But I just don't like paying up that much. But if you're after a pod in good form, you cannot deny him. Boys, you got any strong thoughts on Lockie Ash either way? Or
I almost consider him this week for when I end up getting Whitfield. So I was thinking about it, but I went the safe option. He's going well. Yeah, he's at that price where I'm not going to trust him at that 500 and whatever he is, or 600.
I'm going to wait for Sinclair, I reckon.
Good man, Sinks.
Oh, Sinclair. I think he's going to be a must-have pretty much at his price. I'm just looking at the kick-in breakdown here for Ash. So Ash actually had the most this week with 5, Whitfield 3, and then Himmelberg 2. But before that, he only had the 2 last week, 1 the week before, 1 the week before that. 5, 1, and then 6. So he's not necessarily relying on those kick-ins. Look, he's a decent selection. It's just if you're prepared to pay up that price, I think, Stu. But you're getting a good player, mate, in a real pod. Steve, Eggsy Todd, the man to listen to. Learned a lot of him this year. Have not heard of the man, but hey, good recommendation, mate. Have to jump on and take a look. Oh, here's a man, Uncle Akka. 25.91 for me. Gorn VC and held Humpty. Nice work, brother. Nice work. And thank you very much, mate. $5 donation. All donations this year go towards a bat for Jack. I need to actually get a total. I'll do that in the potty this week on a round review or something. But thank you very much, man. It goes to such a great cause. We're going to get a great cricket bat for this young man. So much appreciated, brother. And congrats. Just don't you want 9 more points scaling just to say you can, you get to 2,600, but Gorn VC and Humpty Dumpty, mate, jumped back on that wall for you, mate. Got repaired this week. Well done, mate. Collie Wobbles, hey, man, 25.55. No Gorn, very happy. Great score without Gorn, mate, particularly no VC as well. JCR, SPP should have got -25 for kicking into the man on the mark for the goal. It's almost the only bit of the game I didn't watch, and I was listening to it, and I thought, no, what's actually happened? So I haven't actually watched it, but I know the chat started going off, mate, but oh, look, he can kick on the man on the mark for me. He's just been a wonderful man for us, mate. Ghost Bakes, hey lads. Hope that all had a big score. Cheers, man. Shattered I didn't hit 2,500. 24.92. That's just what I was saying, mate. Like it was 9 points before, just 8 more points. Come on. Clear and Reed's 90 on my bench. Patton's inclusion, stuffed my loop and had Dale. Yeah, it's always a risk, isn't it, mate, that loop? You're much better off, aren't you, with loops when they're actually injured? Like I've got O'Connell. Scoops, just while you're here, actually, mate.
Yeah.
I made Liam O'Connell owner. He's injured still with concussion, is it, mate?
No, he's been at Sandy the last 2 games.
Oh, so he's actually been playing. So he's just not. Is it Stocker that they're going?
Yeah, Stocker will stay in ahead of him if that's who they've. I know he's in the in the group of names that would be in the conversation to go out for him if he was like position for position. But I think Stocker's kicking has always been bad, but his tackling and his effort stuff are far better. I don't know why, to be honest, why Liam O'Connell ever got in to begin with and why he stayed in. I know he did that great, courageous. Who was that against? He went with back of the flight. I think that's the one he got knocked out from.
It was against Richmond, wasn't it?
Yeah, I swear it was against one of the closer games. Oh, no, he was the Geelong one because now I remember some dirty Geelong player tried cleaning him up and he took that mark.
I remember
because he stayed in after, so I was just trying to think. Yeah.
And he was wobbly, wasn't he? But no, that's good to know, mate, because he's been a really handy loop, actually, being able to get someone like a Reed score on. Flynn Sanity, Evolution. Absolutely Flynn Sanity, mate. Luke Ryan Marriage. You're a fan. Trade your name on this week as a stepping stone, as you got concussed and will mix next week versus Richmond, ranked top 500 overall. Oh, well, mate, congratulations on the rank. But concussion, isn't it? Bloody terrible, mate. Bloody terrible. Thank you to those people here. This shows how. Oh, sorry, I need to go late time with the comments. So, Supercoach Open from Logs, useless Supercoach. Thanks, mate. Good on you, mate. Appreciate this show every Sunday, lads. Thanks, Alistair. Would love your opinion. Is it time to jump off Bailey Dale? So, yeah, you've probably heard that by now, mate. Look, if you can, go for it. But I'm getting rookies off field myself, man. It's open, yes, man.
I can't believe Oscar McDonald, the most selected for this round so far, 11%, 15%, 18%.
Geez, going up. That's the issue, Scoops. We've just got it doesn't seem like any decent options. I think that's why
Oscar McDonald. Oscar McDonald, the guy where Luke Jackson will unfortunately probably be back against us this week, of course. Typical. So we'll even be in the team.
It's an interesting conversation. Plus, you've got
Darcy
to come back in a week or two as well. It's, don't know, mate. It's going to be a tough one. Rail on my live score under 2,100 4 times. I watched the game. Oh, mate, really. You love him and you hate him sometimes. Not personally. I'm not talking as a person, as a Supercoach selection. But you've seen the best and worst of Rail, which we pretty much do, don't we? That's a bit of a pattern. Highest score of the round for 27-24.
Oh, he's just saying what the high score was. Yeah. That's what the North guy, I thought his name starts with J. What was his name? John or Jonah?
That's right.
He said it.
H, how are you, legend? Needs to that Murphy Reed and Davidson this week. Don't know which rookies to bring in. 24.99. No Dacos have gone 1 point, man. 1 point.
He's back.
Look, H, we have to have a chat, mate. We'll jump on the chat, mate. We'll jump on the phone, H, and work this one out, because at the moment, mate, I'll need to have a deep dive into the downgrade options, because there is not much on the horizon. Scoops just said, mate, 18% are going with
Oscar McDonald. I had to laugh. That's hilarious. I think it's April Fool's Day again.
That's why, people Spielman Gross was named sub, because it was meant to be Gross, get this guy in nice and early, make some cash for the weeks like this week where we know we're not really getting anyone. But we'll be in contact, H. We'll work this one out together, mate.
I thought Gross was actually a good player in general, not just Supercoach there. I thought he looked actually, forget all the Supercoach stuff of it, I thought he actually looked pretty decent. Like, he turned it over in that Brisbane game, but he played against your midfielders, which is bloody hard. And then you got the 2 top 1 draft picks, or basically Levi's the top 1 draft pick, basically.
Yeah, that's very true, mate.
And then you got the experience heads, and you got like 20. He turned it over a little bit, but gee, it was good. Yeah,
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Matty jumped up 143 spots to 457, top 500. Nice work, man. Benno, 2586, takes me up 944 to 5511.
Oh, this is just making me depressed.
Nice, brother.
I know, it is. Same here, God. Same here.
Prior to Bus, I think you could in another week, mate, if he holds his spot. I wouldn't necessarily be going early on that, but yeah, certainly an option, mate. Look, Bus is maybe one if you need to go someone, but you have to go early. I hate going early. Thoughts on Peter Wright?
No way.
Mate, no, not a key forward for me. 378k. He does have a negative break even, but I don't blame you if you're asking the question, mate, because we are just literally talking about the lack of downgrade options this week. So I respect the fact that you're looking at every option, man. But for me, just these key forwards, they are so volatile, and we've already seen Peter do bugger all during a game, so probably not for me, mate. Not my type of pick.
Ben Patton really annoyed me. I was so happy he finally got named, rightfully so. He got named, and then he's not sub. I'm like, okay, this is great. He might get 50 or 60, and then I seen he subbed off at halftime because I had it muted. See, so I didn't know why he was out. I'm like, what the, you know what? And then I thought bullshit that he got subbed off tactically because of the they were in front, right? So there's no way they're making a halftime sub in front unless he's injured. Then they heard calf tightness or some crap. So, oh joy.
I'm just putting a link down there for anyone that wants the link. Was the Sarah groin confirmed?
You know how to pin it, Dia, don't you?
I have no idea, Scoops. No, I'm on StreamYard at the moment. I'm not actually
Which is what I normally use, yeah. If you go on the YouTube app under your account, you're logged in for this, you go in the comments section like you're viewing some random person's thing, but on your own, and then you click on the comment that you want to pin, and you'll click on your comment, and it'll say pin comment or whatever, and then it'll stay at the top automatically for people watching, and then they
good
don't have to keep getting you typing it.
You are a good man, mate. This is why we've part of it is why we've got you on, mate, for your great knowledge.
Yes.
But does anyone know about the Sherrick groin? Is that confirmed? Anyone? Do we know?
He went off. He went off. I don't know for certain. I can find an article, see if there's anything.
Legend, mate. Yeah, not too sure at this stage, Crimson, but we'll keep our ears open, mate. Zay, if you're going to trade Reed or Pryor out, just don't have to choose. Have to choose between the two to field. I've chosen wrong every week. Yeah, look, it's so tough, man. As I said, like the week before has just flipped on its head, and it was a wet game. Like I would have expected that from Reed. Not me anyway, mate. But yeah, it's bad luck with the rookie roulette, buddy. Cade, 24-47, had Dawson and Dale, who are rubbish. Yeah, have been disappointing, haven't they, mate? Dawson's meant to be this late kick, but just has not been for the last little while, actually. Hoggett, straight swap, one trade, Max Hall to Petrucca. Nice. Leaves me with exactly $0. It is absolutely meant to be. And as you said, SuperCoach Gods want me to make this move. Well, I've got the SuperCoach God here himself. Are you giving that a big old green tick there, mate? Straight swap, $0 in the bank. Hall to track the cement bag.
Yeah, I would. It depends who else you have to. You could have someone else to go to potentially. I'd probably rather get a Levi Ashcroft out.
Oh, interesting.
Only because Max Hall just got an 82.
Yeah, so you're looking at that break even. Yeah,
lower break even. I don't know. Scores a 60 plus score this week against Freo. Still a decent break even. And Ashcroft could get a 60 this week and be dead. So,
all right, there you go. Heard it here first. Maybe in Ashcroft. But look, if you, $0 in the bank, hold a track, mate. Make me a sign. Benno, Laylaw, time to go. Break even of 67. I think he's fine, mate, with a break even of 67. It's sort of getting to that time. Boys, anyone would keep on to Laylaw?
Oh, no, I'd get rid of him easily. What is he, 330 on or something? I don't have him. Never had him to begin with.
He's 310.
310, yeah, I'd dump him. 67 is around the mark you'll keep getting. So, you'll be going up 5K, going down 5K.
I think
his highest score apart from the 112 is a 74.
Yeah, so I'm not confident on him. Yeah. He's not going up, that's for sure. He'll stagnate and drop a couple of K here and there.
Yep, I'm with you, Scoops. Cobes, is Ed Richards, Murphy Reed, and Levi Ashcroft to Butters, Track, and Will White a good trade, or is it too much of a sideways trade? So Will Reed. So you got Reed and Ashcroft, so they're rookies, and you're getting Butters and Track. So he's
upgraded to premium.
Yeah, you're getting one upgrade there, mate.
I wouldn't be getting Will White.
You wouldn't be getting.
I would much rather I would much rather the Butters trio though.
He got a 45 and he's 185K with a break even of -15.
From that side of things, it might not be great, but if he
what position is he? Where is he? Is he a defender?
Will White, no forward. Small forward.
is he?
You got to get in a different rookie. You got to find a way to get in a different rookie. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't go there.
Yeah, Cobes, tune into the Swordplay potty, mate, with a mailbag. Ask the same question then, and we'll have a little bit more info, mate, about some of these rookies, and we'll have the rookie data dump and all that sort of stuff, brother. Halves, thoughts on Max Holmes? Break even 159. Gee, that's getting up there now. So Max Holmes, let me just have a quick look at him and his price. So Max Holmes now is priced at 525. Yeah, big break even. What's he done? Let's have a look at what he's done. So 125.91, 127, 72, 147. Isn't that a pattern? 100, sub, 100, sub, 100. But then he's gone 80 and 70 in the last couple of weeks. Collingwood, GWS, Port, and the Dogs to come. Well, look, for me, I wouldn't trade him out, but I wouldn't be trading him in now. I think that you probably put him on your watch list and you're hoping to get him sub 500K. But definitely not this week, mate, with that break even. But I'd definitely put him on the watch list. Wouldn't be trading him though, brother. Theo, Flynn and Buslinger for Curtin and Finn O'Sullivan. I like the outs. Buslinger, geez, it's a tough one, mate, because Flynn, God went through the numbers before, or some basic projections. He needs to, we'd say God go really well to make another 150K from here, you'd say. Like, he needs to be going at least 100 plus.
He'd have to get to 500K then. That's...
Yeah, the issue for me is he's coming up against Max Gawn this week. Now, I know Maxi hasn't been the most restrictive ruck that we've seen, but it's a tough matchup. And look, Buslinger, I like Bus, but I'd much rather go next week just in case. Remember, Liam Jones was dropped. I thought he looked like a natural in his first game, Buslinger. I was actually pretty impressed with him. But, look, Flynn, it was really last week, mate. You lost out a good 70 to 80K on most coaches that have already brought him in. Yeah, look, again, mate, ask this in the stocky when we've got a little bit more time and a little bit more data up our sleeve, but definitely like the outs.
I've just had a look at Matt Flynn's previous games against Melbourne, Richmond, and St Kilda, which he has coming up. I'm tempted to change my decision.
Oh, okay. What have you
Okay, so previous 3 games against Melbourne, he's gone 113, and then he had a 51 in the middle, but then he also had an 89. So there's chance there for a 90+ score. So we put that in as 85 before. Let's say Richmond, he's gone a 103 and then a 41 in an injury game.
Okay, injury.
So, I don't know. Take that as you will.
Maybe there is more meat on the bone.
St Kilda, he's gone an 81, a 122, and a 140.
So is the wow? There we go. So maybe there is enough meat on the bone. It's just, again, it comes down to projections, doesn't it, mate? Like, it's like we can have our opinion and say this is what we think he's going to go, but we could be completely off. It's like, do you look at the SuperCoach Gold predictions? I always take them with an absolute grain of salt. They are way off at times. But, look, I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on your gut. We'll really look at the numbers. You've done a great job there, mate. Just look at those quick ones there. But
I don't mind that from Theo. I don't know why you would have had Dan Curtin to begin with. I like that. And I trusted Dread Buslinger. And DR, you may have got a early birthday present from someone in the chat, not me, in forms of a donation, a decent size one.
Hang on. I can go to start. It's this man again. Now, I need to actually do a separate video just on the love I have for this man, Yaron Gardner. And it's not just this channel he supports. Every live that I tune into, it seems like Yaron's around. You are the most generous human, mate. I need to do an overall bat for Jack count and then a Yaron bat for Jack count, because you have just every time, mate, been so super generous, mate. And regardless of what the donations are, and I never ask for them, I never expect them, but $30.99, mate, that is just, we're getting a nice bat here for this young man. We are getting a very nice bat for Jack. So much love to you, mate. And I have been meaning to do it. I've just had a heap going on lately. And I've got permission from obviously Jack's mum. We're really good close friends with them. But I'm going to do a separate video and get Jack on just to tell a little bit about his story and all that and his cricket history and that, because he's a ripping young lad. So thank you so much for that, mate. And thank you for letting me know about that, Scoops, as well. But
that's all right.
Darren, honestly, mate, much love to you, brother. You are literally an absolute champion, mate. An absolute champion. Thank you so much, mate. All right. I have thoughts on Max Holmes. Busting off the curtain. This one.
I think Ben from Inside is in the waiting room. I think.
Oh, sorry. Here is a great man, Benny, my mate. So I only have the view of that top row. I don't know if I need to actually click down, mate. Click down one. How are you, brother? Thanks for joining us, mate. Great to have you on last week, mate, for the first time in a long time, and you have graced us with your presence again. How's your week been, man?
Good. I'm wearing a D's jumper. I don't know if you see that one, do you, mate?
Hang on. Explain yourself. Is this
Petrarca, Max Gorn, two players I don't own. So I figure if I kind of give them a bit of love this week and put a bit of D's gear on, that maybe they will pay the fortunes back for those that bring them in. But touching on, I have been listening. I don't think you can go Flynn anymore. He's jumped up 79K. I know you're talking about meat on the bones.
Yeah. It looks like he's going to go up another 62K, though, it says, if he gets 95.
Oh, yeah, he'll go up another one, but
I don't trust him playing all the time, too.
That's what I mean. I don't know if I trust him playing every game to warrant bringing him in now. But
no, well, there's this guy in the chat I can just see named Heels. He's saying, basically giving me lip for saying that you shouldn't get Matt Flynn. Well, I mean, I think my comments warranted still, because last time I checked, factually, Matt Flynn's played 3 games out of 7, played round 1 and the last 2, and just got destroyed by Lloyd Meek today. So very likely he could be dropped for Bailey Williams for the 50th time this year already. So my comments still warranted.
That would hurt. That was part of the risk going in as well, Benny, wasn't it, mate, this week? And that's why, again, I was so keen. Almost said you got to go last week, because you're not locking in, but you're absolutely locking in the one. You're hoping at least for that too, but we just don't know. We don't know what the rookies do. With your Gross, with your Clay Halls into the ruck line, with your BJs and your Flynns. It looks like they're a fan of keeping Archer Reed in the side as well, so it doesn't look like he's going to go out unless maybe a rest. So it's a good point that you raise. It's again up to your projections. You know, if you think he's going to be playing for the next 6 weeks and going to 105 plus, then look, you could do it. But it's so tough to know. It's so tough to know. Even the best of us, I don't think, could have predicted that first monster. So it's a big question. Downgrades, Benny. We've been talking a little bit about this.
Yeah, people are forcing the hand, I think, at the moment. There's no real rookies. I mean, outside of, Bustlinger, Huswaite, they're on the horizon, right? But everyone's got the itchy trigger fingers. They want to upgrade. I've got money in the bank. If they brought in Carroll, I've got money. I want to spend it. I want to get points on field. But then you're looking at bringing in people early, and it could also backfire if you go early. And I remember, I think Cumming played a good game once round, and I brought him in early. The only time I think I've probably brought someone in after one game, and then he sputtered and got subbed and never played again in that one. And it hurts, but I think people are kind of feeling forced where they're trying to make moves and they're trying to make upgrades. But it's also in this tricky situation where there aren't that many rookies on the horizon, which is why a lot of people went Flynn last week. And you're kind of getting closer and closer to the buys as well, that, if you bring in some rookies now and if they are dropped, then all of a sudden you're having more dead weight going into the buys as well. So, yeah, just be careful of not biting the hand that feeds you. Yes, we want to upgrade. And sometimes you might just have to sit on your hands for a week, or try and find that value selection that can, still get out primo scores, and just hope that we get some rookies that show up and actually play each week. None of this in and out West Coast style, actually play. And that'd be lovely.
I'll shoot you this. My situation, right? I've got TDK and Matt Flynn R1, R2, and Sherry is 580k. Probably a bargain for what he can do. Would you still wait a week and try? And we can't wait a week on Sherry because it'll be too expensive. But would you force the downgrade to the rookies in order to get a Sherry if you're in my situation?
Is his break even? Is that 41? I can see.
Oh, some stupid thing like that.
It'd be low, and they're playing Essendon, so he's playing a Goldie as well. So I reckon he'll.
Jeez.
So would you get in a Buslinger and a Husway to force that?
Oh, double.
And
I have to.
Oh,
unless I get rid of unless I get rid of like a Clary or something ridiculous.
You've got. So what's Huswaite's is in for Nash, isn't it? That's just a straight swap, isn't it? Him in for Nash.
Yeah.
So what if you're getting? He's got 4 weeks, doesn't he? So 1, 2. You're getting 2 price rises if he stays in. I suppose if they get another injury to a Newcomb, a Warple type, you might be able to.
They have 2 KOs though, the Hawks, Amon and like defenders though, but that could cause a little bit of a reshuffle. Yeah. Amon and Scrimshaw both got knocked out, so they're both out next week. So that probably they've got plenty of defenders, but it just means Sicily probably then obviously definitely stays in defense.
Yeah,
they probably drag. Weddle was playing forward, so he'll be back in defense. So therefore, you probably don't get some of those other mid rotations through. So maybe you'll find it could be Ward or Mackenzie's also played forward at some point. So maybe they throw him forward for a week a little bit more to kind of balance the list, and then give Huswaite more of that run through the mid. But again, I think we said last week not last week, but he's very much a Nash type. He's a tall 190 odd midfielder, contested ball winner, and I quite like Huswaite. I just don't. I'm hoping he plays his way in, so that way when Nash comes back, they either hold him back or they kick out a Ward or someone instead. So that's the risk.
Yeah. Oh, look, God, I'd if it was 1, I'd almost go, yeah, you could, but geez, 2.
Yeah.
Haven't
you put your team through enough?
You know what my team's looking like? I've got a lot of all my rookies are good. All my rookies are beautiful. They're doing well. I don't even want to trade any of them out. They're doing that well. And then I've got your Ned Long, your Marich, and your Flynn, all these mid prices. And then I've got a stupid little Clary in there who doesn't know how to score a ton.
Stupid little Clary. Yeah.
And then Chera might have done a groin, so I don't know. Who knows with that? So I mean, if Chera's injured, it'll be easy, right? But
or suspended.
Well,
not hoping for it.
Well, Kevin here, boys, there's plenty of being in Sherry for 2 rooks because of the scores I'm short by 11k. Is it okay to trade Ashcroft to Sherry? I have other cash cows generating cash. Thanks, boys. Benny, you're a Brisbane man. What are your thoughts on trading out a Levi Ashcroft this week or next? Do you think that he's someone, given the fact that, like God said, there's other rookies with lower break evens and all the rest that we look to keep? Or do you think that we keep him up until the buys, knowing that he can continue to provide us hopefully some decent on-field scores more weeks than not?
Well, I mean, he's averaging, 75. So he has been doing quite well. Outside of, I think he's had 1 stinker of a 30-odd. This game, he started slow. So, he did pretty well to get a 68, to be honest, and does use the ball well. I'm okay with getting rid of people early. And sometimes you don't get it right. Like I got rid of Davidson last week. I got rid of Reed this week. Both Reeds, actually. So,
but there you go.
But in order to get the money or to upgrade to get a premium and get the points on scores, sometimes you don't get it right, and the rookie might recash their generation for a little bit longer. But Murphy Reed, if I held on to him going, his break even's 45, well, he ended up losing money, right? So you can't always dwell on, let's go Levi. Okay, he's made 150k or a bit more now, so he's probably made like 170k. You can take that money, get a premium, and he may go well, but at least you got that premium score. So sometimes you do need to cut them early in order to get a premium score to get more points on field. And if you can sacrifice the 25 to 50K and go, hey, I want points on field and I want to try and accelerate while everyone's sitting on their hands, then that ploy can definitely work. However, caution to the wind on Levi. Number one, we spoke about the Lions buy anyway, so they do have the last buy. And if you're going to have rookies that may be in or out or stalling, at least during that, the best 18. If he's going to score, he's probably going to be in your best 18 anyway, you would assume, around the mark. This will be his first ever Gold Coast clash. So I think he's a kind of big game player. Like his brother, I think probably will stand up for the big clashes. And then they have North and Melbourne after that. So I'd be cautious of cutting him just a little early, because there's one of those games, North or Melbourne, if he puts it all together, he could go 100.
Agree, mate. Absolutely.
But yeah, Cherry's very cheap.
Yeah. Look, mate, if you're getting Sherry, I think you could, but I am in agreement with Benny that you look at that buy, look at the upcoming schedule, you look at his talent, then I think he's going to continue to give us, I think, what we need for now anyway, mate. Kev scored 24.66 and still went down. No Gorn Hurts. That hurts. You must be at a really high rank, mate, to still go down with a score like that. H, look forward to the chit chat this week. Absolutely, H. Always a pleasure, buddy. Nez, should we start having a look at Isaac Heaney? Mr. Isaac Heaney. So let's have a look at...
Who does GWS go to this week? Do you reckon it's Heaney or do you think it's Warner?
Probably Heaney. Heaney's been the one that's getting tagged. So Heaney's got 112 break even with a 3-round... What's his 3-round average? Where is it? 3-round average of 108, a yearly average of 100, and he normally scores about a ton or just over against the Giants.
Look at these season scores: 105, 103, 78, 94, 118, 98, 109. It's that ceiling. If you think back to what he did last year to open up the season, 140 was just the norm. And if we got anything less than that, we were disappointed. But I'm not sure what the reason is. Is it the tag games that his ceiling's going down? He's just really not hitting the mark. But he's the sort of player that he's too good not to. It's a good question, Benny. Who do they go to? I would be saying Heaney. But Warner performed really well this week, didn't he? He was pretty damaging this week. So,
yeah, I think Heaney has gone forward a little bit more. Crimson as well did say Heaney copped a big knock at the end of the game. So I did see the injured symbol on there. So, copped a bit of a knock. So I guess we'll see how he pulls up on that one. I'm also a bit worried, though, that once they do get, Mills back in and say Gulden comes in later, it's almost like they want to play Heaney a little bit more forward this year compared to last, but they just can't. There's no one else there. They have no X factor. Yeah. And you saw when he moved forward, he takes good marks. He hits the scoreboard. He kicked, quite a few behinds as well. And I think they need that because they're losing all forward structure. They had to throw McCartan now back in the defense. So they could use really 2 Heaneys, I think.
Absolutely. Then the Lizard today. Geez, the Lizard stepped up for a few quick goals in the forward line. Got the size. Wonder if I can go from prior to Bus and Hall or Kako to Huswaite and bank 250K. Well, that's just what we're talking about there, mate. So we've probably answered that one, what we were saying with SuperCoach God before, but he's thinking about getting both boys in himself. SJP ended up ranked 12 for the week. Nice, man.
Oh, wow.
26.79. So close yet so far. Holden Humpty was huge for my round. Yeah, nice, mate. And look, and apologies on behalf of the stock market. I said absolute sell this week. Just get out of this bloke while you can. But, well done for those that kept the faith. Awesome work. Heaney, what are your thoughts on trading in either Jordan Clark or Petrarca?
So even Heaney's looking at trading in other people. So that's a good omen.
Yeah, look at that. There we go, Benny. There we go. Well, Jordan Clark, he's been super consistent, hasn't he, this year? Let me just get...
Yeah, Jordan. I think a low of 98 or something. He's just pretty much ton. I could talk about him because He's very consistent because he's not getting the kickouts, but he does push quite high up the ground. And anytime there's a stoppage, regardless of where it kind of is, even if the stoppage is maybe just out of the forward 50, at the back of that stoppage, Clark is literally a handball receive out the back. And that's pretty much his role. And then when it goes rush kick into defense, he's not the guy probably getting the intercepts because you have your Ryan sort of holding up that post, but he's rushing back in there to kind of almost sweep behind the players in the end to get the handball receive out the back to kind of get that out number and then move it forward. So it is really good for SuperCoach. I'm just waiting for him to kind of put it all together and start banging out a few big scores that we know he can. But he's a good price though too. Like he's actually averaging extremely well and dropping in price, which is really unusual because he's so consistent. Obviously the magic number or whatever is just forcing that price to come down, but he's only 534K and averaging 106.6.
I'm shocked that he's actually gone down 28K in the season. I didn't realize that, Benny. So I just looked at his screen then.
Yeah.
I'm shocked to see that. 107, 122, 104, 101, 104, 94, and 94. Then 114. Like, that is super consistent. And we've talked about buys. He's got a terrific buy, just sharing that with St Kilda, who he's coming up against this week. So, I think he's a terrific selection, Jordan Clark. You just pretty much know what you're going to get. And track as well. We saw him put it together last week, got another nice fixture. And if you think that he can produce something like he did last week and not even 130s, but get close to that 100+ mark, then why not, mate? But two good selections that you're thinking of, mate. Two rookies left down back, one left in the mid and one in the forward line, yet sitting 50K. Rookie and captain roulette, as well as midfield frauds, are killing me. That's a big thing, getting your captains right, that rookie roulette, the prize and the read. Some people have been unlucky last couple of weeks. Other people have been lucky, or call it luck or your decisions, whatever it is. But nothing more frustrating with the rookie roulette. I remember missing Errol Goulden's big score in his first game and just absolute killer that year. Zeus, are we all stuck with no more decent rookies to grab? Well, pretty much, mate. It's looking like that. We've had questions about getting Flynn in. We've had questions about Peter Wright with a negative break even of 11 to 14 or something like
You're
that.
You're desperate when Peter Wright comes up. Have you spoken about McDonald from Fremantle?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, mate? So we talked about the fact that Dogger's obviously coming back in soon. We've got Voss to come back in as well. What are your thoughts on job security? We talked about the fact playing that second ruck role on the weekend as well. But, have you got any thoughts on Oscar yourself, mate? Or
well, I know a few are again desperate for cash, and they see, this guy scored an 85 this week, so like he did perform really well. I am a little concerned, with obviously Voss when he comes back from the suspension, but more importantly, he is doing that second ruck role. Now he's not exactly getting the most amount of hitouts. When you have a look at his hitouts, I think he only had 2 hitouts. But competing in the ruck or probably getting the follow-up ball around the ruck, so at least in and around the action. But Jackson, I think, was listed as a 1-week injury, so he's back in, which is automatically going to shift things a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if Jackson's named and he's named, where do they put him? And then kind of trying to assess where, if Voss is back in, maybe a couple of weeks now after his suspension for round arming someone, then you can make a decision as to, is his job security more in jeopardy when Voss comes back, or can you back him into hold? So I don't like it, but with an 85 in his system, it could go okay if he holds his spot for a bit longer.
Yeah, it's just desperate times, isn't it? It's really desperate times. So Zeus, to answer that, we're not big fans of anyone this week, mate.
If Bo Allen's named, I might just bring in Bo Allen straight away. Straight away.
Why not another West Coast rookie? Just add the trio for 2025.
Can't get any worse. Between the 5 I own, surely one's getting a game, right?
That's right, Betty. That's right. The handcuff strategy. Mad about Bailey Humphrey is Driz. The week I trade him out, also Dale hasn't done much for 4 weeks. What do I do with him? Yeah, talked a lot about Dale already, mate. Just super, super disappointing at this stage. Janath, Goat, how are you, mate? Is it even worth keeping the upgrades rolling? Reed and Lashcroft for a primo and rookie this week has potential to backfire. Well, I think Benny was touching on it before that, we are so caught up on the 1 up, 1 down each week. And ideally, that's the way that we want to go. But is it the worst sitting on our hands for a week? If you're happy with your rookies, you don't necessarily want to trade anyone out. There's no one in particular that you're really, really keen on. Maybe if you're someone that's using an extra boost or two than the average punter, if you sit on your hands, maybe that could be your advantage for the week rather than getting points on field. Maybe keeping 2 extra trades on the rest of the competition that maybe trying to force something that maybe not quite there. I know it is tough. I tried to double downgrade the other week and did lose a few points on field. But, look, would you boys be happy if there's just nothing that you really want to do? Would you be happy just not to trade at all? Or would you still look to upgrade somewhere?
That's the question.
Well, I'm in a position where I think my team might have done the best it could have done, and I got a 2,400. So I think I have to upgrade, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm looking at my team and I'm going, oh, there's tons bloody everywhere, and yet,
and there's value everywhere too.
And there's value everywhere. There's just no good output. So I need to find a way to, I don't know, get a player in that can score your 140s and 50s and can be a good captain option, because I've only got a dicuss and a TDK at the moment. That's really going to put that out every week.
Yeah, and I think the value is why people feel forced to trade as well. I mean, Zorko 516, Dawson 498, Dunks 529, Houston 525 with a break even of 144. So he can wait there. Petrarca's obviously just shy of 500. Warner's 460, and his break even now has kind of dropped down to about an 80 or something. So you kind of want to get him either this week or next.
Yeah.
And you put it all together, and people are going, okay, there are players that have dropped and they're prime for picking. And in order to pick them, you need to free up cash. And that's why we're kind of going, well, yes, I can wait a week, but then this person might jump up 25, 30K. I'm going to cop less points on field. And that is probably the biggest dilemma this week on, are you going to force some cash? It's a risk, right? It's a risk. And also, if you're like with me, I've got, say, Marich, I've got Sampal Pepper, I've got Long. They're just doing their thing. I don't really need to get rid of them, right? But I can afford to trade like a Marich up to a Lockie Neal kind of thing. Don't talk about Lockie Neal. Don't talk about
I'm saying you can't trade out Marich with Melbourne this week, surely.
Yeah, correct. Especially with how Melbourne leaked points. But that is the dilemma where people are looking to go, okay, well, I can upgrade, but you might have to get rid of someone early. Unless you have like a Murph Reed who probably has to go. I'd probably force it on that. Otherwise, most rookies are sitting pretty good, or they're not quite having to get rid of yet. I think it's probably just Murph Reed for the owners that you kind of have to get off him.
Yeah. Geez, what an ideal week to have 300K in the bank. This is the ideal week to have cash in the bank. When there's no great downgrade options, this is when those coaches can afford that upgrade. But in order to get that cash, what have they done? Did they go a little bit slower before you have it?
This is the week.
I tell you what, though, if you go early on a Huswaite or something, and in order to make an upgrade, yes, you might have had to get rid of an Ashcroft or a Hall or a Pryor when they've still got a little bit more money to make, and he pumps out a 90. But you've already made that extra upgrade. You're ahead of the game. So,
yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
I think Huswaite's safe for 3 more weeks, which is at least a positive. I think he'll get 2 cash rises in him. I don't think they're going to get rid of him because he is, again, a similar type to Nash. So if I was going to go early, it'd probably be Huswaite. Yeah, and you're right about the trying to free up cash and actually make moves. This is also the week where I wish I didn't pay 10K for Merritt 2 weeks ago, because that would have been nice to have that extra money. Because I went Humphrey to Merritt against West Coast for a captain, and then I've been so poor. We spoke 3 captains in a row. I butchered it. I sold my soul for a VC. I brought in Dacos, and who I would have had as VC and C was Brayshaw and Cherry. Both scored a lot more than the VC I sold my soul for.
At least you own those 2. Bloody hell.
I think I scored,
mate.
No, I scored, I think 2,500 and ranked 120. So I did slide, I think 30 spots or something.
Oh, I forgot about that because you're in the top 100. Weren't you? One,
Yeah, I was
120,
84.
mate.
Yeah.
Well, wait, so if you, I don't want to make you feel bad, mate, but it's more to try to pump up your tires more than anything. If you nail a couple of those captaincy options,
Oh, huge.
It's what a difference. And I don't want to harp on it because I don't want you to think, oh, what could have been. But it goes to show that there's not much in it, is it? There's really not much in it. One or two decisions can have such a huge impact on your rank, and your team is good enough to be higher than what it is. It's just a couple of those captaincies, mate. If you swap them around, I'd hate for you to actually look back at what could have been points wise, because I dare say, my friend, you would be right in the thick of it if you're not already.
Put it this way. So I put Cherry captain instead of Whitfield because I had a few drinks on a Saturday and thought, hey, it'd be a good idea. No one will be on Cherry. He scored like a 90 odd and Whitfield went 150. So that was 53 points. And then I went Sarong over Brayshaw and that was a 50-point swing as well. So those two captain calls, which were 50-50, and I was kind of tossing back and forth, I would be ranked 29th instead.
Wow.
So that 100-point swing on captains is, but it's, buys are coming and best 18's coming. So my lowest scoring player this week was McRae.
Wow, gee, that's so. Can I ask how far? Do you know exactly how far behind you are from number one at the moment, Benny? Like what the actual points gap is? Because like you're
quite big
in your position with your knowledge and the coach that you are absolutely, mate, in with a red hot crack to do something special this year. I think
you're about
in with an absolute crack. Because who's to say that some of these coaches in front of you that may have got the captaincy right when you didn't, the tables turn. Like the Reeds and the Price situation with the rookie roulettes, you could have such similar sides, and one or two decisions with the rookie roulette or your captain can literally be 100 to 200 points depending on the week. It's crazy.
I think it's 265. I think it is about 265 points off first. So I would have been 160 odd points off first if I got those captains right. But you're right.
Nothing. That's nothing. 260 points is nothing, Benny. Like what are we, round 7? Like,
but I could also, the wheels could also fall off, and someone did comment in here about boosts and things as well. I've boosted my way to kind of making early aggressive corrections. So my team was nowhere near perfect. I had Perryman, I had Shorts, I had a whole lot of people that I weren't really happy with. Held true to Horn Francis and Sheasel and Roberts and those guys, and kind of held when I needed to, and avoided the Fraser and the Sam DeConings and the early temptation, and then did double down with the Humphrey, Marich, Long, which did work out well. And then Sandpal Pepper, I had on field when he scored his 18, which I hated.
Me too.
And then he comes back and fruits to the fold. I can't even get rid of him now. He's just pretty much averaging 100 over 3.
So crazy, man, crazy. And like
not to brag.
Can I tell you my joy?
Not to brag or anything.
I've copped it off people for Power Pepper as well.
I'm 990 points off first. Like, not to brag, but I reckon I'm in. I'm ready to go,
mate. This is comeback season right now. From right now,
comeback
mate.
Season.
Hot topic. How many boosts do you guys have left? Because some people are asking, how many boosts have you got left?
One personally.
Well, I might have to use my final one this week to get Sherry in. So
we're all on one, are we? All on one boost?
Seems like it.
I know
there's been a lot of corrections. A lot of corrections.
A lot of bad corrections.
Hey, mate. Guys, perfect Sunday night viewing. I know there's lots of chat around track, but who do you think has the best chance of being top 6 forward? JHF, Rankin, Track, Warner, and Dylan Moore. I'm saying Rankin myself. I'd go JHF to Rankin, but I'd say I'm going to stick with Rankin.
I'm going Horn Francis, Rankin, Warner, Track, and then Moore.
Oh, Warner before Track. Yeah, interesting.
I'm just trying to have a look at what. Okay, so Dylan Moore got 108 with a 36 the week before. Oh my god. I'd say I reckon JHF with the form that he's in and that newfound hunger, I'm going to put him at 1.
Yep.
We're ranking at 2.
Rankin's got the injury history too, though. So I think if
Yeah,
you're
as well.
talking about top sixes with a less likelihood of getting injured, I think Juan Francis pips Rankin on that.
Yeah.
But I think they're, in my opinion, they're probably clear cut 1 and 2. Track's got the biggest potential out of all of them to go massive. So I'll put him at 3, and then probably Warner, then Dylan Moore. I don't know. That Dylan Moore score of 36 is scary.
Yeah, he's capable of going to 160 on his day, but just not looking like it this season anyway. But that'd be our rankings anyway. Dan, hope it helps, buddy. James, how the hell did I score a 24-6-3 and go down? I think the reason, mate, is that you must have a pretty fair rank to be going in with. If you didn't have a fantastic rank, then you would be shooting up, I think. If you're around the 40, 50K mark, you'd be going, massively up, mate. So I think it's because of your terrific season to date, mate. CJC, what's up, boys? Not much, mate. Enjoying this time with two great men here. 2370 would hold up decently, but clearly under par without Brayshaw, Gawn, Dacos. Yeah, when you're missing a couple of those popular premiums, mate, with big ceiling scores, can certainly be a bit of a killer, mate. Drop 500 NV, bad luck, mate. But again, mate, 500 isn't any sort of a disaster. Zach Reed's break even says Hawksy's 48. Is there still money there? Would be factoring the 38, I imagine. Yeah, so that 38 will go out after this week. Look, it all depends on, it's a big game for him this week in regards to his score, isn't it? Because if you're going another 30 to 40, then all of a sudden, you're sort of back to square in a way, aren't you? So,
well, we know Pryor's going well this week and Reed isn't. So,
exactly right.
You know what? I'm gonna back Reed in this week to back up another 90 against North.
You're backing him in, are you? Backing him in.
Well, who will he be on? Will he be on Larky, or he normally goes? Does he go second tall, or?
He was so good though on Anzac Day. Like in the wet, I actually traded him out, which was stupid because I could have made 35 more K and scored more points. But he was good. He was bodying. He was using the body well. He was marking well. It's probably the best I've seen him outside of the other game. He scored about 100. I thought he was exceptional because the week before that against West Coast, I was expecting good things and it just didn't happen.
Honestly,
he did look great.
Watching the game live, like at the game, I only checked SuperCoach scores. The only scores I only checked Dacos and Long. I wasn't really focused on Pryor and Reed. I didn't really care. I thought, they're probably going to be my bottom score anyway. But even watching it, I almost thought that Pryor and Reed were kind of on par with each other. Like, I don't know. I wasn't watching the scores throughout the game, so couldn't really get a good gauge. But I don't know, Reed did do some things where I was like, oh, he's getting 10 points for that. So, and I think Pryor's a lot of that little chip mark. Like, he doesn't do anything to really bolster his score up heaps, and he's just going to get that 15 touches every week. So,
just doing it at the moment, isn't he? This is a good question, Jason. Do you know how well wingers score against Port? Davidson has a break even of 50 and may hold another week. Yeah, well, DFS will definitely have it for you, mate. So definitely check out DFS. Oh, God's a good man. There we go. Which mid-pricer is best this week?
Middies.
What are we counting as a mid-pricer these days, boys?
350 to 450, maybe.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know if there's much there. Callahan. I don't know. I think the best value is probably Warner at 460, maybe because of the forward swing.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah.
Stewart's just looked horrible and copped another knock as well today, so I'd stay well away from that.
Yeah, I'm staying right away from Tommy. I know he's cheap, but I'm not willing to go there. Hey, make sure you check out the stocky, mate. I'll have all this info, mate, when we can actually have a bit more time to go through. But yeah, definitely any plays that you want as well, mate, put in the comments and I'll make sure to do a bit of extra work on them. Early.
I've got the winger start.
Oh,
Port
yes, good man, mate.
In the orange, so
mid.
Yeah, they're a bit under average for scoring.
There you go, Jace. He's done God's work for you, mate. All right, so trade in Whitfield, Huswaite, Trucker out. Pryor, Dale, and Sanders.
No love for Dale, hey?
Nah, geez, we've had some pissed off Dale owners here, mate. Yeah, I'm one of them, mind you. I'm one of them.
I do love the trade though. I love that trade.
Whitfield and Track, yes. Husway, you go. Who else do you go this week? Pryor, Sanders, and Dale. Well, they're definitely an upgrade.
Yeah, but even if you keep Dale, right? Like I know it's not great and everyone's frustrated, and Whitfield seems like a must-have, but also Whitfield will have some down games at some point. Yeah. Right. So that means that realistically speaking, Sanders and Pryor would easily be able to get you Husway Petrarca with 100K.
So just looking at it, Whitfield's next 3 games, his highest score against Sydney in his last 3 is 106. His highest against Geelong in his last 3 is 94, which was in 2022. And his highest score against Freo is 106. So,
but $125,000 though, $125,000 to upgrade Dale, who can probably average 100. Yeah, he'll go 140s and he'll bang out some 70s and 80s, and then he'll get rewarded in other areas. But for $125,000, especially seeing how poor our rookies are right now, where we're actually scratching our heads on where we're going to find cash, I'd rather put that 125 onto another rookie later and get another premium than just topping up your premiums that you're not that happy with. There's no money. There's no money.
I'd agree. Yep. Save the boost.
Yeah. Play Dale and another premium, or you're going to have Whitfield and then play a rookie for however many more weeks later in the future. And then you're going to go, oh, wow, I need to get rid of this rookie and I've got no cash, or I've got no money, or the rookies aren't great. It's like, well, yeah, you spent 125K upgrading a premium.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Just wish there was some decent downgrade options, boys.
But you could easily, for that 125, you could actually use that extra trade and go Levi Ashcroft to Chad Warner. And you could go Petrarca, Chad Warner, Husway, and you still get to keep Dale. So you have 2 premiums upgrading in your cadence, not just 1 premium and a sideways.
That's a very good point, mate. Yeah, I'm with you. Maybe save the boost on that one, mate. Maddie, what do you guys think about trading Reed and Shearer to a rookie and Bont Butters? Still leaves me 80K. Reed, the only rookie to trade Shearer, low score, and came off holding his groin in the last quarter. Well, that's certainly new. Look, if Cherry's out with the groin, then that certainly changes things, mate. But look, Bont Butters, what do you reckon, boys? Is it just, I must admit, I have not had the feeling of being a non-Bont owner for years. I've started the bloke each and every year and haven't thought twice about it. It's not fun. It's not fun. And he got subbed off for the whole last quarter, I think it was from memory. So are you guys a fan of the Chera? Let's just say he's fit. Let's just say if fit Chera to Bont Butters, or do we go back to the conversation we're literally just having there and saying keep that extra cash, or keep your mid-pricer there and get the rookies off field? I'm personally one to be keeping the Shearer types, but are you guys in a different school of thought there? Or
if Cherra's out, do it. Well, you don't necessarily have to get a Bont or Butters, but because they're so expensive, like you're paying,
it's $180,000 more.
You're paying top dollar for them. So maybe you could even go, what if you don't have a Petrarca, for example? There you go. There's your avenue to Petrarca. But
yeah, I don't like that personally, mate, myself.
Here's the good issue. Here's the good thing though. Number one, they share the same buy. So it's not like you're going to be trading out someone with the later buy and bringing in the person on the first buy. So that is the benefit. Because I've thought about if he was healthy before this point for Chera, I was actually thinking about upgrading him during his buy to Bont or Butters anyway. Now, I think they're so expensive, right? There's the complete FOMO where they're the best players in the comp and everyone wants them. But again, we're going to sell the farm and play rookies for so much more longer. You're going to be like, yes, you feel good because you have them. However, you're going to be playing a Cleary and these other types on your field while you're still trying to finalize your team when everyone else is done. Secondly, everyone drops in price. So they're going well now, but they're going to have a poor game of even hundreds. We've seen what's happened with even just a couple of hundreds, like Merritt, couple of hundreds, he's dropping down heaps. When you look at everyone else, so all they need is a couple of hundreds, and they're going down to low 600s. And again, they have their buy in 5 weeks. So you just need them to have 1 or 2 scores that don't fly. And then even then they're going to have the first buy. So I'd be looking to kind of get them after that and hope to get them for about 80 to 100K cheaper. And there's not many people that own them.
Agree.
I think 40, I think it was 40 and 20. 40 players, 20. I don't know which way, whether it was Bont or Butters, but there was 40 on one, 20 on another in the top 1%. So out of 1,800 people, there was like 60 people or something or other actually own them. And they're spending up big. So, you know, they got rewarded this week, but it's not always going to happen.
Yeah, you got to look down the track.
If Chera's out for 1, do you hold?
First buy for me. I might even move him to Rankin or someone that I don't have top of another line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also it
would be my avenue to Cherry, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
The trouble is, it's not like other years where we've got these reliable bench options that can just come on for the week for Chera. Like some people, I look at so many teams, Clay Hall, Gross, for example, and even a Henderson. Some still have a Campo there, and Nevitt we're not sure about. So, look, if you've got the luxury to be able to bring someone on that you're confident enough with, that's not going to be sub and is not going to give you a sub 40 score, then I suppose. But, Jez, I'll be tempted. And he's someone that does have injury history, Adam Chera as well, which is something we all knew when we selected him at the start of the year. So if he is out, then it's a big conversation for me. It's a big conversation. I need to think about it deeply, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of coaches that do move him on if he is out. McDonald, Alex, yeah, talked a lot about him, mate. Just not overly keen, mate, about his job security and not one that we'd, overly recommend. But it's one of these weeks where, it's just we don't have many options. Matt Kennedy, boys, any strong thoughts on Matt Kennedy? I know that I think he's going through his, is it 6-week or best 4 to 6 week stretch of his career, according to, it might be champion data, according to the ratings. But he's in terrific form. He's been just what the Dogs need, I think, impacting the scoreboard as well, which I really like with Matt Kennedy. The issue is for me, if we, we put all the options on the table here, and I'm guessing that most teams by now have McRae, Daniel, lots have your Horn, Francis, your Rankin, and now lots of Petrarcas are starting to come in. And I'm guessing Trad Warner's probably the next player that people look to bring.
Bailey Smith as well.
Even. Sorry, Baz is the other one I was missing, Benny.
Yep.
Baz is the other one I was missing. So someone like Matt Kennedy, where does he fit? You know what I mean? Look, there's a chance he gets around the top 8 there, but look, in all fairness, he's scored a lot better than Petrarca this year, hasn't he? For an average, someone like Matt Kennedy. Am I not giving him enough respect here, boys? Matt Kennedy as a pick?
Well, Bont has only just come back, so he'd be picking up some of the slack. Bont did also play, I think it was 60-odd% of game time last week and still dominated. 70. He was 80-odd% in 3 quarters, which is why they rested him, because he was well above, I think, what they wanted him to do. And then you're looking at Treloar is also back in 1 to 2 weeks, which will be probably this week or next, because he was listed as 1 to 2 before this round. Yeah. So that's probably my main concern. On top of what you touched on, DR, the fact that we are leaving out that 7 forwards that you just spoke about that have the 100+ potential, and we're already going to have to leave out either a Petrarca or a Horn, Francis, Rankin, Warner. You're going to have to leave one of them out unless you're playing them in midfield, and then you're kind of losing points anyway. Or having them in flex. They'd probably be a pretty good flex player, actually, because you can put them in the forward line, midfield, and then swing someone around. But yeah, so you're already missing other players, and I don't think I want to be banking on a Kennedy up against some of these other players each week as my point of difference when they have a fully fit complement in the midfield.
Yep, agree. Very impressed, though, in other years, maybe, but just with the options I think we're presented with, particularly these new DPPs, makes it a little bit hard, mate. Jack's asking about Josh Dacos as an option at 450K as a defensive mid. Geez, it's pretty cheap for potential. So let me just have a look at the other Dacos, Josh Dacos. So season stats to date, boys, we're looking at scores of 95, 88, 84, 91, 59, but then 119 and 106 in the last couple of weeks. Stats-wise, look, hasn't really blown it away. You got 30 touches against the Lions. Oh, geez. No, 36 touches. No, sorry. I'm lying here. Sorry, I'm looking
against Essendon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything's been going through him, but again, how stacks the defensive line? Like, I'm probably not going to get in Ash and some of these other players. Like, how many spots do you have to bring in a 90 averaging defender?
It's a good point, isn't it, mate?
The only reason you.
But Zorko's 517 with a break even of 130. Like, he'll be under 500.
Yeah, I think you wait for a Zorko or a Sinclair, because I think they're just better value. I think at the price they're getting to, it's ridiculous.
11 defenders are averaging over 101, and Bailey Dale's the 12th, averaging 98.6.
Well, the top 6, you've got Whitfield at 118, Ash at 116. So Ash has now moved his way up to 2nd overall. 114 round that for Sinclair, 112 for Naz, 108.6 for Zorks. Then you got Jordan Clark, Mr. Consistent, we were talking about before, with a 106.6.
She's all Amon with 3.6% ownership will be upset. He misses with concussion.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
And then Roberts is hanging on the top 10 with Bowie.
There you go, Robert and Bowie.
Yeah, Holmes is in 11th because of Holmes he has the up and down games though. He'll get your 70s and it was like, oh, that blasted Holmes, and then he'll go 140 and you'll be like, oh, Holmes, you're amazing.
It's funny, is it, like that with Holmes? We looked at that pattern before, just up, down, but unfortunately last couple of weeks both been down. Look, it's an interesting one, but probably not, mate, I don't think, looking at the other options that we've got available. Does McDonald even hold his spot? Well, yeah, look, we'll have to wait and see with the team sheets, mate, but no one's going to be surprised if he doesn't. Davidson at Peatling to Huswaite, Nakos, 640. Yeah, look, it's all the conversations I think the most we've had is Dacos had to be the week before last or last week. You're sort of committing to paying up now. And I think, we've all touched on it. At this stage, with the lack of decent downgrades, can we afford to be paying the 640Ks? I'd probably be looking to target those fallen premiums like your Zorkos, if you want to go your Rosie types, but your Petruckers. There is some really good value, as Benny was touching on before, on a few different options there. So are we saying, look, every week's probably a good week to get Dacos because you're getting a premium player. But boys, would you, sort of going back to before, recommend maybe looking at a cheaper option, a fallen premium rather than a 640K Dacos? Or are you saying it's still okay because you're getting quality and you're still not paying as much as a Butters and a Bond?
If you go on the half hog, you might as well just go Bontempelli. No one owns him though.
Just full send
it. But the point of difference, if you're going to send it, you might as well send it. I do like Dacos, and the reason is, again, it's a good VCNC option, but again, I think they're playing Geelong, and Geelong will probably try and restrict him or tag him. But on the MCG, good luck trying to restrict the space because there's so much of it on someone that can run like Dacos. And he'll just go forward line, midfield, defense. He'll just keep running around and then switches, which I think is why it's hard to tag him. And the Lions had a tough time of it too, because you saw for a quarter, we're going to actually put some time into him. Yes, but then every time Dacos switches a position, then that throws the system out of whack. He goes into the forward line, Berry follows him, and other defenders, they're like, well, hang on, what am I doing now? I've got to play somewhere else, and I don't know what my role is now, and it changes. And then if he goes into defense, a forward's then got to okay, well, hang on, I was on him, and now I'm not, and I'm moving around. So it's, unless you are so well drilled with the flexibility on just being able to put people in different spots and they go, oh, I know, I'm in here now, I know what I'm doing, you can really disrupt the whole system. And on an MCG that's so big, MCG against Geelong, then they go over to Optus, which is, again, a big stadium. So I do like him, but again, the point is, would you rather pay up 640 for him now or go your Chad Warners, your Petrarcas, your Zorko or whoever's now, get through to the buys. After that first buy, then pay your $640 if you need to for a Bontempelli, for a Butters, knowing that not many people will own them, or they paid up top dollar to get them earlier than you.
Yeah. That's the decision we've got in our hands, isn't it? You know, do you just want to go up to the best of the best, or just bide your time, look for that value, and then in an ideal world get them, hopefully, at, as you're saying, maybe 80 to 100K cheaper. SuperCoach God, we know you're a big Dacos fan, mate. Take your Collingwood hat off for a sec. Are you paying $640K for the great man?
Nah.
Nope. Going through the
I
keeper.
think, you know what? I wouldn't even pay up for a Butters or a Bont. Just go some random pod instead. You've already missed out on Dacos. Why not just have a... Everyone's got Dacos now. The bloody whole competition has him. You don't. Why not just go some random pod that's around 550K? I don't know. Maybe who's a pod? What's
Go to the ownership percentage, you reckon? Look for the 1-2%ers and go someone there.
Get someone that's like under 10% owned, that's doing like reasonably, like let's have a look.
Some people just want to see the world burn though, DR.
Why not?
When everything's going poorly, just pick some rando. It's like 3 a.m. in a nightclub over here, for God. It's just like 3 a.m. in a nightclub. Just pick some rando. Everyone's already gone home with other people. Just, you know, everyone's got someone. Just pick someone random.
Yeah, why not pick a I don't know. Why not pick a Hugh McCluggage at 600K or a Took Miller at 555? Just something random.
Well, speaking of Huey, your teammate here from Caillou had Lockie all year, but to be fair, works with his mum. Doesn't have much choice. I'm sure she'd be a lovely, lovely lady, Caillou. And just let Lockie know there's an open invitation onto these lives every Sunday if he's if him and Jules aren't doing too much and the young one is in bed. DMAC, can I let go of Levi Ashcroft this week? Yeah, we talked about that as well, mate. Can upgrade one trade, but you have to do a dodgy downgrade, and that's exactly the point that we made, mate. Some of us are doing dodgy downgrades to fund these upgrades that we're doing. Hawksy got Jordan Dawson jump off, averaging under 100 as a primo now. I'm sticking fat on Jordan Dawson myself because I think that he would come good. SuperCoach God, would you hold the faith of the Dawson, or are you saying see you later, Giordano? Just not up to scratch at the moment.
Nah, he's an absolute jet. Hold him.
Hold him, sure. Benny. Holding Giordano.
I think if you've already got him, you might as well. They do have a pretty favourable draw to sort of finish out as well. So I mean, you know, Carlton, Port, and a few, they play West Coast in about a month, right? Then, you know, Lions, Hawks, or whatever, and he can do well anyway. If he does kick well, he can actually score and pull us up good games. But then he plays Richmond D straight up, and then we'll get play back West Coast and North again later in the season. So I mean, what's that? West Coast twice, North, Melbourne, Richmond. So I think he plays probably the five lower kind of games in the run home. So I think you might as well just probably hold. If you got him for a reason, he's gone 100 right now. You know, he's already bottomed out in price. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of money and then throw money back on him.
Yeah. I personally have him on my watch list. Absolutely on the watch list for me. Yeah. They're the sort of picks. And this is, I suppose, Dawson is an example of the picks we've been floating, or the strategy, rather than going way up to your Bonds and your Butters now. Why not target your Dawsons when they're at a low price? Because you know that there's going to be a point where they start to find form again. So I think, Dawson is a pick that I'm definitely going to be keeping on the watch list, and one that I'd hold if I was an owner.
I think Adelaide will win some games too. I do think they're going to win more games where they've kind of lost their way a little bit. You know, took the comp by surprise and teams kind of worked them out a little bit, but I think they'll consolidate their strengths are, and I think they'll start to win a few more games as well. Great
point, Benny. Mark, thanks, guys, for the night. Catch you all during the week. Appreciate you, Mark. Good on you, buddy. Oh, man, I need to turbo through. What's the time here, Benny?
10:24.
I tell you what, everyone, I'm going to go to about 11 because I've got to get I've got school tomorrow. So I'm going to try to turbo through these as much as...
You got young kids.
You know, I've got the young ones. Mate.
You got the young ones.
I can hear one doing something out there. We've got this little hoop inside right next to the TV. Stupid decision, but I should be more experienced in that, mate. But
I've got a quick question.
Yes, mate.
Guys.
Yep, leave it in the chat.
Yeah, we'll get to you.
No, bit of a quick quiz one. How much money does Hustweight go up in the 2 weeks that he's got his price rise until Nash comes back, with averaging a 72, which is what he scored? He gets a 72 every week.
I haven't got that. I think that's a Scobes question, that one.
I think it is. I haven't got the calculator in front of me. You would assume he'd probably get to 2. He'd probably make 100K over 2. It might be like a 60-40.
107.
Okay. So I'm close. So was it like 64?
Good, Benny. Yeah. Very impressive. Gee, that's not too shabby.
Make 100K over
the lack of rookies, I reckon. Like 100%.
If you could go one early, I think Hustweight's the one I'd probably go on.
I'd agree with that. If you go, because as you said, he's got 3 more weeks, doesn't he? You'd think anyway, with Nash out, and then could be carnage in between. Who knows? Could get dropped. Who knows? But
for those who don't know him, we're talking in his draft year. He got picked up a little bit later, but I do know anyone knows Draft Expert, who's kind of here and there now on YouTube or Twitter. But he ranked him kind of a tall mid, sort of like a Pendlebury, where can get a contested ball, but has a lot of time and space when he does it. So he actually told me to look for him in keeper leagues and different things. Did play some games last year, and I think was picked up. I think Chris from SC Insider picked him up in the first round of a keeper league, which didn't really work out because he dropped him. But yeah, did have a good preseason, did play some games. But in the VFL this year so far, he's been racking up like mid 30 touches, like 37 touches or whatever it is, and looking really good. And now there's a like-for-like replacement. So I don't see him losing his spot when Nash is out, because they are so similar as far as their physique and their role that it's an easy one-for-one switch. So most of it's about role, right? And if he does score well, which I think he can, I think he'll probably do better than the 70-odd. He had a lot of touches.
Got Richmond this week.
And he had a lot of touches. Ooh. So what was it? Like he had 20-odd touches that I saw easily.
24 maybe.
Yeah,
not bad. Not bad.
Hustweight 24 touches, so 12 and 12. Not really many marks, only 2 tackles, but I see he'll probably actually get better because of the level. There is a jump between VFL and AFL as far as the speed and the time, so I think he'll kind of adjust accordingly with the time constraints that are there. And yeah, again, the soft draw, if there was someone to come in early, I'd probably, do that early and even put the E on him if they play early enough.
I reckon they play on a Sunday.
They play second last. Yep.
I reckon if I'm someone who I don't have a 0 in the midfield. I don't have someone that a loop. So I'm
tough life, mate. Tough life for you, isn't it? No zeros.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
Yeah. They're everywhere else but the midfield.
I'm thinking I reckon I'll straight field Hustweight.
Just bang. You're just going to go Henry.
Yeah, bring him in.
Come on down, son.
He's the only one that can get 25 or more touches out of my mid rookies, I reckon. So.
There you go,
Lindsay should do well as well against West Coast too, I think.
Yeah,
True.
Liam, hey boys, unsure what to do with English. Tim English, I do not know too many Tim English owners, mate. Start him over TDK is giving me 90s. What are your thoughts on what I should do with him? Boys, we're saying like Sherry this week, like English to Sherry. Just get it done if you can.
Same buy, why not?
I think that it would be a great trade, mate.
And if you have English and Cherry, then don't know what you'd do because you'd be a lot to go to Gorn. Or just put
Flynn. You're not going
full
English.
God. Yeah, go full God. Flynn in R2.
You
get him to the boys.
This sounds like a lot, but it's only a 60K difference between English and Sherry. I don't think that's that much.
No, I'm saying if he already has Sherry as his R2, then where would you go? So we do need to know. Liam, we need to know what obviously you've got as your backup there.
Probably hold him to the buy, right? Mate? I don't know.
Os McDonald gone in for Kurt. hang on. Oscar, McDonald, gone. In for Curtin and Zorko. You're trading Zorko out.
I've seen a couple tempted. I don't know why. He's averaging 108.
Yeah, no. Theo, I don't like Zorko out, buddy.
2
Gone
4
in's
scores.
cool, but
That's it.
And they play North and Melbourne as well coming up too. I know they do like him. I think they've kind of tried to shut down some of the corridor use. But as teams will get fatigued and as other teams have injury issues during the season, the rest of it, the lines will get ticking. And if they start to win games, that's where your big ball winners and Zorko being one of those main drivers of attack will score well.
Yeah.
Towards the middle to end of the season, I think.
Yeah, I've still got faith in Zorks for sure. Gavin, any upside to keeping Oliver? I'll be holding him for another week. Boys, I'm assuming both Oliver owners and both holding this week?
Yeah, it's one more week.
Yes, one more.
Yeah,
that's what I've said as well. Give him another one, see how he goes against a soft fixture. And then, we'll make a decision from there. Get it, guys. Petraka or Kennedy. Talks about both players a bit. I'm going track myself. Boys, would you both lock in track? Ben, you're in the Melbourne gear, mate. So you're going with the big cement bag over Kennedy?
Yeah, you got to putting good vibes forward. Petraka and Gorn.
Love it, mate.
Most certainly.
Right versus North next week. Could be handy, mate. Could be handy.
Coleman's good, though. Don't Coleman's...
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
2 meter Peter is bound to shit the bed at some point. It's just it's science.
It is, isn't it? With Pete in particular, mate. Sports nut. Thoughts on Huswaite? Yeah, so we've talked about that, mate. I'm going to try to really. I don't mean to be rude, guys, but try to really get through these ones now. I have no idea how to upgrade or downgrade. They're all the same, mate. Cramp. I'm guessing that might have been with Shera. Shera came off holding his groin, came back on, but didn't do much from there. Did it when he had the shot for goal in the last that he shanked. All right, thanks, Matty. We'll see what happens with Shera. How does Rosie get DP? Oh, does he get DPP? Yes, we're pretty sure that he gets DPP by now. And do we get him now before he goes up more?
Is that 2 or 3 rounds he's played full defense?
3, I believe. 3.
So he definitely was there this week.
Of 94, you're going to struggle to get him much cheaper, I reckon.
No, I think even then he'll drop a poor score at some point. You'll be able to get him for 550 or so. Like we've even seen Chera was banging out hundreds and went from 460 to 510, 520. One poor score like Ashcroft and bang, you're under 500. So you need huge ceiling games in order to buff the high sixes, or like Neil and stuff going those 130, 115, 130. You need constant 130 pluses to get to high 500s. So, and then that first buy, if he gets DPP, first buy, then bring him in, and he'll be a top 6 defender.
Only issue is what if he's averaging the same amount as what Whitfield's averaging at the moment in the back line when he's in the back line. So if he keeps that up, it's going to be very hard to get him at 530k or something similar.
Well, Whitfield had a poor game and will drop. Sinclair was averaging even more. He was going to the moon and had one poor game, and he's down to 570. So, just leave it to the buy. Wait for that DPP to kick in, because all of a sudden what might happen? Butters might get sore or gets rested or has an injury, and then Rosie, bang, you're in the midfield. I would not be trusting on Kenny until they actually make that change. And I had him in my team, and I got rid of him the week before they changed his role.
So unlucky, man.
Which is annoying, but I would bring him back. If he gets DPP, then I'd bring him back in.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Good advice, mate. Oh, and that was Yaron before. Thank you again, legend. You're an absolute gentleman, mate. Has getting dunks in this week, 530k, and loves the Suns matchup. So you're not focusing on the big boys, mate. You are getting dunks in. Look, for those people that, I had a lot of people message me, I can't believe how bad he's got. You after that first week, you can't expect him to get 170s. You know what I mean? But look, should be a solid citizen, I think, at the price at least, H. And Reliance man by the avatar, mate. So that's always good. Hey, Scoops. The great man's long gone now. Running with Matt Flynn is still a poor trade-in. So, talked about that one, mate. Dylan, Bus, Huss, and Track in. Marias Hall and Davidson out. Yeah, well, that's the Bus, Huss, Track.
Moraes has a bit to go though. Like
he does.
He hasn't been going well, but he did go mid-50s. All you need is another 60 or 70, and he'll get to sort of that 250 mark, I reckon. At the moment, if you get rid of him to say, Huss weight, you're only making 85K. And I'd like to get him and fatten him up to 100 plus. So I mean, it's possible, but he's someone I don't like cutting rookies when they're sort of flat twos. Unless you go into a 99K guy, then you actually get that 100 to sort of, push somewhere else. Whereas, unless they're a dead rookie, Moraes keeps getting named. Port keep winning. So they're going to keep naming him. And you just need 1 week where all that wing action kind of goes through his hands. And he has scored a 90 before. So we're just like, hey, give us a bit of luck, score us a 70 or an 80 for 1 week and get us that 250, and then we'll cash you out as quick as possible.
Yeah. That's a tough one, Dill. I'd probably hold off on the boost personally, mate. Shauno, thoughts on job security? Yeah, we're thinking at least probably until Nash comes back there for that, mate. Does Bont go down in price? Jeez, we're hoping, mate. Surely he does. I'm sorry, Benny. That's how late I am, mate. Yaren's giving love hearts. All love to you, mate. Chloe to Dacos from Slick. I'm saying no. Boys, anyone giving that thumbs up? Or
if he says he's a pies man and it's making the games hard to watch, just do it. If that's the case, just do it.
You're looking at his emotional well-being.
Yeah,
God, I like that, mate.
100%.
I like that. Yeah,
I'm more in the buy flip area now. 5 weeks out from buys. He's not making you money. He's not losing you money. West Coast, hopefully he does has a big score to kind of get him into the 500,000s. But I think most of them, unless you were kind of desperate for a VC or something on Dacos last week, where like Ashcroft, I did with the 85K difference instead of 185 where they started. So I did that one. But if Chera's injured, then move him. Otherwise, I think for those who are fit and healthy and kind of holding, or at least holding cash, then you could probably get to the buys, wait for them to have their buy, flip them to a premium, and at least you're going to get that extra premium for the round that they had their buy, and then for the rest of the season, which does increase the gains you're going to get from flipping them.
Love it, mate. Sports clips: Reed, Trainer, and Levi out for Oscar, Bus, and Bont.
Oh, double. Oof.
Are we saying if they can just go, if Sports can just go 2 rookies out and then go maybe a Bus and a track type? I know I keep on saying track, but someone around that price. That's probably the advice we've been given so far.
160, 140. What's 140 off on Bonts? About 5. So pretty much you can go 1 up, 1 down to someone around 540K.
Yeah, that's what.
Essentially, or if they have money in their bank, they could probably go a decent premium at 550K without having to use a boost and without having to cut and use 2 speculative defensive rookies too. I mean, McDonald and Bus could both be out of a job.
Yeah,
in a week.
Something. In good faith, I couldn't recommend using a boost to go early on 2. Oh, no, McDonald's. Well, we're going early on 1. McDonald's speculative, and Bont is Bont, but he's such a high price. Yeah, I just couldn't recommend it myself, mate. But I think most of us are in the camp of trying to find a little bit more value if we can. Parker, Dawson, Petrarca, Elijah Hewitt. No, too late for Hewitt, surely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you would have
with a negative 32.
This was the issue round though, right? So we did go up 32K this week. Because I looked into him because I was tossing up between Carroll and Hewitt. And if you were going to go on a West Coast player, they play the D's and then they play Richmond. So there are 2 games where he could score well, right? But last week when he scored a 97, he had 5 touches in the first half, followed up by I think it was 11 touches and a goal in the third quarter, and that kind of swung the momentum of the game for them to come back and win close. So he kicked 2 goals, got a 97. This week he started off quite slow again and wasn't exactly the most impressive. Outside of last week, he had 15 CBAs. I don't know what he had this week. So there is a possibility with 2 weak opponents as a forward mid, he could go a couple of 80s. But when you're paying 220K for someone that literally just went and scored you a 65, like,
yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. That makes it hard.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be going Elijah myself, mate. Agree there. Murray, Muzz, thank you very much, mate. Another $20 for a bat for Jack. Muzz, please send me a DM or something, mate. Let me know what I can do for you, because again, you have been so super generous, mate, in the different leagues and the headspace stuff as well. Thank you so much, brother. Give me a player or something for a slide in the stocky, mate. You are an absolute legend. Thanks, Murray. Good on you, pal. Thank you so much, mate.
Sorry, Elijah, 21 CBAs this week. So, but without Hall and without Gross, he 15 last week, 21 this week. So the role seems to be there, only playing, I think it was like 65 to 70 something % time on ground. So this week was 75. So I think last week was maybe 70%, this week 75% time on ground. So he seems to be in and around it with the CBAs. 17 disposals was probably good enough this week. But again, I think 3 disposals in the first, 6 disposals in the second, 3 disposals in the third. So he can kind of go missing in quarters, which is probably where this score is impacted for an Elijah. So
yeah, and it's his body as well, isn't it, mate? It's durability. Paying up this much for someone with issues like he's had in the past is always a bit risky, I think. Is it? Look, obviously sideways. Deconning to Sherry.
Banking money.
It's. We are actually banking money here. Is this a downgrade?
Yeah, it's like 20. You make 20K, but you're also going from a 120 average down to a 118 average. You know, so you kind of have to be confident, or at least gut feel, that Cherry's going to be top 2, and TDK is secondary to Gorn.
It's an upgrade, no?
What are you saying, God?
Well, it's an upgrade, but you're making money. We're saying you're making money off it.
Yeah. Sherry, look. Sherry,
put him at flex. Cheap, right? Put him at flex. Have all 3. Put him at flex until
just go big old 3. Look, one thing to think about. Sherry's obviously at a really low price now, and he's going to be going up. But you can save money in other ways this week, and then make up for the money that Sherry's gone up when you're paying a little bit more for him by making. I'm saying no. I'm saying no to that, even though you're making 20K. But all right. I'll ask you boys this: do you boys think that Sherry's a must-have in your team, either at flex or in R1 and R2 by the end of the year?
Yep.
Like, do you have to have Sherry to be able to go the whole way this year? Do you think?
Yep.
I think so.
Well, I'm considering going early on 2 rookies just to get him in. So that's how much I value him.
And Gorn is also at a point where they might actually rest him as well at some point.
Well, I mean, he just got rested, really.
Well, I mean, they are traveling to Perth this week. I mean, why not just get Campbell to ruck against West Coast? They don't really need Gorn to win in West Coast.
Oh, how good would that be? Oh, my God.
Save him the long flight. Campbell, mate, go do some heavy lifting against Flynn. Flynn just got smashed in the hit-outs, and let's just save the long man from sitting in business class all the way to the other side of the country. That'd be nice.
And then Flynn gets to 150.
Murray, going backwards at the moment, thinking last boost, Davidson, Sherratt, and Short for Sherry, Bonds, and Huswaite. Jeez.
Gee whiz. Gee, a lot of people are thinking of Bond.
Oh it's God. A nice looking upgrade, though. Like, you're literally getting Bond, Sherry.
You're getting Sherry 2 players you're getting 2 players in who you're gonna want to have by round 13.
Not even players like beasts here, mate. Like beasts. Genuine SuperCoach beasts.
And Short's got to break even at 99 as well, so I can see the temptation to dump him out there. The other part as well is that sometimes you just have to get the must-haves. You know, like if Dacos is cheap enough and you think he's a must-have, and he's a clear top 6 in the line or whatever it is, and you think a lot of people are going to have him and it's just going to hurt you because he's a perennial scorer, then you just jump on him. Because you don't want to get priced out either, because if they just keep banging like what Brayshaw's doing at the moment, you're hoping he gets tagged. You're hoping he has a bad game because everyone's on him and he just keeps on racking up big scores. I mean, he's probably going to be priced similar to some of those other guys, surely.
Yeah, and worth it too with what he's been doing. But do you know what? I'm actually going to give that the thumbs up there, Muzz. I'm giving it the thumbs up, mate. You're spending up, but you're getting rid of Short. I don't. really think is going to be any sort of a pick. Tony, first Gorn sitting out most of the last quarter and Bont the same thing. Then Garcia getting a 2.5 quarter rest. Is this a new norm? Who's next? Dicuss, not good for VC or C. Look, I think with Bont, it was very much a management thing and the game was just done and dusted. So it's like, just ice the man up. He's done all there needs to do. Just give him a rest for the last quarter. Gorn, I think it was pretty much the same. I think just rest him up. Let's just save him because, as I said, making a bit of a trip coming up. And Garcia, it's interesting. I was, for the first quarter of this game, so I went to the game, watch this live, and my brother gets these Medallion Club tickets all the time. So I watched that for the first quarter up at the Medallion Club and then went back down with the plebs with the other rest of my mates. And we were right behind the bench. And I actually saw Ross come down and give Garcia one of the biggest sprays you've ever heard. I'm joking in a way, but it's like you could almost hear it from where I was sitting in the Medallion Club all the way down from the bench. So Ross was not happy with something, and I wasn't watching the game closely enough to recognize what that was, but one of the genuine sprays.
A couple goals from Lockie Neal probably in the first quarter.
Maybe that was it. I got to the game late, so yeah, I'm not too sure. But
like, hey, mate, we didn't tag this guy, and still all you had to do was stand next to him, just near the guy, just do something.
Do something. Yeah.
One person that we haven't spoken about as a possible downgrade is Sardis as well. So I know, like, Harry's been chatting in a few of these later chats as well as far as Sardis, where he got pulled from playing VFL because there's a short turnaround between, obviously, Essendon's game. I think it was like a 5-day or something between Anzac Day and the next one. A short turnaround. So
okay.
I think Shield is a bit sore. So word is that they might rest him. He might get rested because I think he's a bit banged up. And like, it's not a guarantee that he'll play because he has been emergency for a bit. However, I think he's 200K flat still. You don't rest someone like that from getting a chance to have a hit out unless unless you want either they're going to play and you want to make sure that they don't get injured because you really want them to play the next week, or you need insurance. So they go, hey, like, either way, his chances have improved because either he's going to play, or they're like, oh, we're actually not sure if, like, let's say Setterfield wasn't great. Let's say there's a few people that are banged up or sore or whatever. And you're going, oh, yeah, we can let him play. However, if he gets injured or he pulls up sore, then you're stuffed. So you kind of go, let's just pull you out of VFL, mate. We're just going to save you. We'll get you just running around and condition your fitness. So it's either he's playing or indications are still good because his chances have gone up because they want that insurance. So he's someone to watch as well for this week.
Great info, Benny. Great team. I wasn't aware of that, mate. This is why
I forgot, but the chat was kind of bringing it back to the fold. So,
mate, can tell why you're ranked where you are, mate. Crimson, Heaney copped a big knock at the end of the game. Not good for Haynes. Thanks, man. Reed Marrick, SPP, who goes, not SPP. Don't even consider. Don't consider. Trading this man, please.
No, the other thing better is the SSP from the kebab shop, isn't it?
I love it.
Oh my god.
Reed, are we saying Reed's out first, or?
Yeah, Reed first. Break even of 17 for Sam Pepper, so he could make another. Even if he scores 75, he's going up 17K. Marich is getting up to 59 break even, so he's kind of in that realm. But also, we're close enough. You're close enough where these guys are just getting the 80 to 100. So I think Sam Pepper probably goes first, whereas Marich, I think, is just, as you say, yeah, you can hold him to the buy.
Yeah.
And then flip him. There is every world as well where he just scores you 80 to 100 every week, and you're probably not even in a rush to get rid of him. Whereas Sam Pepper, I think, is still reliant on that contested mark, the scoring chains, and the link up in order to score. And he's doing the role exceptionally well. But there is every realm where, I think once he was 40 at halftime and then fizzled out and scored 47. So there are those possible scores coming where it's great because the last 2 weeks I've had him on field and I'm loving life because I'm risking it and it's working out. But there is every realm where you play him and he's not in your best 22. So
remember 18, Benny, 18. We've seen it. So
yeah, anyone that could do it once. I nearly traded him because I'm like, if you could do it once, I can't have you on field, and if I can't have you on field, what's the point in paying 180K for someone? So lucky Cucko, lucky Hall sputtered round 2 because otherwise he was gone.
The swings and roundabouts in this game, mate. I tell you what. Let me tell you something. I love that name. Have Gross, Clay Hall, and Nevitt all on bench. Who shall prioritise trading out? I think you've got to look at team sheets here, don't you? And just see who's... Nevitt's injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you boys have any sort of answer for this? Because I just...
Well, I had to make the decision between Nevitt and Clay Hall last week. And I came to the decision of Nevitt. Only because Clay Hall... I don't know. He always seems to play well in the waffle. There's every chance they give him another crack at some point. So
it wasn't even an emergency though. That's the bad part.
Well, I think aren't the players that aren't emergencies, they just play in the players that are emergencies don't play in the twos.
They're not traveling emergency, so they just let him go do his thing. Low break, even though too. What's never just is it still the plantar fascia that they're kind of managing? Is that the gist of it?
I'm not too sure. No,
yeah,
I
don't think anything's really come out.
There's not much meat on the bone for any of them either. Like
nah.
Like Gross, you're not going to trade. So it'd be team sheets now. I think Gross will probably he did well in the waffle, so I think he might play. Hopefully Hall, you know, like so Stewart could easily move further forward. Tim Kelly's still not in there, so I was a bit like it was weird because Kelly wasn't playing yet. They had probably two good mids that weren't in there, right? And they weren't getting the job done anyway because they're getting smashed around the ball and smashed in the games. They were competitive against Essendon, and they're going, "Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll just not play some of these players." So it'll be interesting to see what kind of team sheets announce. But I'm hoping Hall should get at least another game at some point, if not a laid out break even so low. His break even so low, he should at least get you to 215, 220K, and then you can move him on. Nevitt's just been nearly sub or sub abouts with some of these 40s and 50s. So I'd probably say him over the other two.
I would agree on that. Hawks is asking, is it bad to have no boost? Look, ideally you want a few, mate, but if you use them to good effect, all good, mate. Not much you can do now anyway, mate. Trade that hump this week. Absolutely gutted. Yeah, mate. Lots of people are, but it was the right move, I think, anyway, man. Drees, thoughts on trading Davidson and Daniel for Rankin and Track? It's the first time I've seen a question regarding trading out Daniel.
Trading someone who's averaging 100 for... the issue is, right, so Daniel is 460K, so pretty much Track and Rankin are both more expensive. So I reckon it sounds like if you can go Davidson and Daniel to go Rankin and Track, who are both more expensive than Daniel, then you should just be able to go Davidson to either Rankin or Track and save a trade.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'd be holding Daniel. God, you're holding Daniel, mate. Holding
100%. I'd be more inclined to trade out McRae if you had to pick one. To be honest,
he's had a down little patch, hasn't he? Jack McRae,
averaging 108.
I would not recommend it whatsoever. So
Is he number one? No, second highest averaging forward. Oh yeah, 2 bad weeks. Just
See you later, mate. Off to the scrap heap. Will Ashcroft has to go with a question mark. I don't think he has to go.
No.
But I see a lot of teams being tempted with it, mate. He's also got Cripps and Oliver. Yeah, it's tough, but I think you'd probably just ride it out, Scoops, at the moment, mate. Sorry. Yeah, we are behind a lot. Benny, I can see you been answering these, mate.
I've been answering quite a few as we kind of go through.
You are a legend. Chad Warner, boys, definitely on the watch list stage. Definitely on the watch list, mate. I'm going to turbo now. Absolutely turbo. Goldie worth considering? Not in my opinion. Boys, Goldie, is there a world?
Nah.
Dazar scored 25-5. Got 2-3-1 grand boxes. Track or Kennedy? Your thoughts? Yeah, Track we agreed on earlier, mate. Matt Kennedy is forward mid averaging 100. Could be a shout, break even 33. Definitely a shout, mate. But we're just talking about the other options that you got there. Probably too many other names that we're interested in. Trainer Lalo and Sanders for Jordan Clark, Track and Huswaite. I don't mind that.
This I like.
Yes. Absolute tick of approval from us, Joshy boy. Wardlaw 120 on 63% TOG is worth considering him. Not for me. I don't even know what his price.
You wouldn't have changed price yet. He did well last week as well. Heavily influenced by the goal he did kick to bring them back within a kick. So he was looking good already.
460.
Yeah. And 460 is almost, he's in for 4 weeks, out for 6. So, those hamstrings and stuff too, they're literally holding him back.
Yeah.
Because of his hamstring issues. So
there's a chance if he does another hamstring, he might never play again. Like his hamstrings are that bad.
I hope that's not the case, because I love watching this bloke go about his business. He is just so hard, and like he's a young bloke who's played how many games, literally trying to carry the team on his back. Like I was just so impressed with George Wardlaw. I reckon he's a ripping player. Bowie, Bowie's been one that's just flown completely under the radar as a really, really solid pod. But boys, is anyone considering Bowie with the other options that we've got? Do we just need to just let him go through to the keeper? Or, SuperCoach God, is he one of your 1% men that you were talking about before, where you could just send it?
Maybe he most certainly could be.
He fits the bill, doesn't he?
He does, and he's got the old Salem role. You could almost say, like what Salem used to do, average about 100. Now
he's overachieving. He's overachieving. Go Ash if you're gonna be stupid.
Go Ashy boy. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I don't mind Ash whatsoever, mate. Was Zach Reed to Flynn a bad move? No, man, no. That's fine. Like
that's fine.
Flynn's making money, mate. You can't pick to 90.
One made 79K, one made 35. So
yeah.
But also like I said, I held Murph Reed thinking I can make 20K if he goes another 70 or 80 and cool, but then he end up losing money. So there's always the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but just, make the upgrade and call 100%. It happy. And it was a sideways swap too. It's the same price, so can't be upset.
Yeah. Do you guys think Caleb Daniels a top 6 forward? Look, I think he's going to be around the mark. I just don't see Daniel as a problem. I just see him as such an easy hold.
Yeah.
Anyone different, boys? Just he's a hold, top 6 around the mark. Close enough? Do you think he'll be?
He'll be top 8, and that's all you need.
And he costs you 260K. You're getting someone you paid nothing, which is why. Be thankful that we had these players like Daniel that we paid nothing for, and he's giving you premium numbers, and he's actually saving us 2 trades in a downgrade upgrade for the season.
If we didn't, we'd be cooked. We would be cooked.
Oh, we would be, but we can burn trades.
If
we can burn trades.
Ray,
and
a Baz, a Daniel, those 3, we'd be cooked.
And he's the only reason I've been able to pay up like a 610 for Merritt or a 600 for 610 for Dacos, because without him, I know that I don't have to make the extra 2 trades, so I can try and bring in a couple more expensive guys, knowing that I don't need to correct Daniel.
Yeah, good point. And Zavon Sandy Brock to play. Bailey, thinking of doing the one trade this week with no rookie options. Short to Whitfield, Rosie, Nass, Track, or Warner. Not sure which one. Any help? I think we've talked about every player so far, probably apart from Nass, who's just been super, hasn't he, this year? Super player, and he's played a little bit of midfield time, snuck up forward, and kicking some cheeky goals is Nass as well for someone that has been playing a lot of their footy down back.
You see, they put him in the midfield a bit more the last couple of weeks.
Ross mentioned that with pressure as well.
Yeah,
I just like really well there.
They mustn't be happy with something that's going on in that midfield. Maybe it's the kind of like the young effect where, with Fremantle, you get the tough guys like Steele and stuff winning on the inside, but outside of that, there's no creativity, there's no good ball use, there's no vision. They need the hard ball winners to get it from the inside to the outside, but they were kind of lacking that polish to hit a target. And especially if you're kind of going a bit smaller and you don't have a King and you don't have these other guys, if you're just bombing it in, they're getting slaughtered. So they kind of do need someone that can actually run and carry and use the ball. But I do worry that he might get smashed up a bit in there, because he's got an AFL body, but he's
not the
almost like, he's almost like the day body, where you kind of, and the Hayden Youngs where, they're fit and they're strong, but also if they're in and under every single week, how much of a toll it does take, because it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Trav's asking how many boosts we've all got. We've all got 1 each. Scorch 2, Uncle Aka 0.
It's overrated though. Overrated though, because we have, was it 5 buys this round as well? Because it used to be It was like 6-6, 6-2, 6-6-6 or something. So it's 4 buys. We have 5. And you can use 3 trades over all 5. So you can use 15 trades over the buy rounds.
Good
which
point,
means
Benny.
that realistically, after the buys, you don't need a boost anyway, unless your team's absolutely cooked. So use them before round 11 anyway.
Yep, agreed, mate. Vernsey, shout out to you, mate. Hope to have you on the live soon, mate. Jax, who's the best primo mid to bring in this week? Well, it depends if you're taking price and everything into consideration. Like, you'd love to have a Bond, a dicuss, a Butters type, a Brayshaw type.
I think value you Dawson, Dunkley, Neal, and then Sarong probably is the more expensive one because Sarong will go big at some point. He just hasn't put it together.
Yep.
There's plenty of value.
Yeah, I think any of those boys are really good, and on their day, you know how well they can play as well. So, yep, good shouts, Benny. Rogue, tough week for trades for me, considering doing nothing. But if I were to bring in a rookie and upgrade in defense, only issue Zorko is the only option I can afford and not sold on him. Look, I think he's at a really juicy price for what he can produce. Remember the first 3 rounds, 130 pluses. But yeah, completely up to you. Completely up to you, mate. Gonna turbo. Boys, Brayshaw, Brownlow, sneaky. Well, Benny's already answered that one here. Got to respect for Brownlow. Strong to take some points, but not many others. Absolutely, mate. Crew boys looking at Zorko break even, and next week he's projected to be around 500k. Yep. Awesome value, 100%, man. Trav, Mills and Coleman coming in 2 weeks. Yeah, that could be interesting, couldn't it? Millsy and Coleman.
I might have
a bit of kitty action.
I actually followed, buys to Mills for 100k.
Yeah, there we go. Whole Dale, yes, we're saying that, mate. Yep. Asking Benny why the Melbourne jumper. I think Benny's trying to just.
Uncle said the same thing. Look, I wasn't going to come on the stream. I thought I had a look. I had a quick little sneaky on YouTube, and I saw SuperCoach God here as well. And I'm like, who can refuse? So I literally the first thing I saw, it was on the floor though, guys. So I picked it up. I shook it out, and I thought, you know what? You got Petrarca on the bubble. You got Gorn issues with his big ownership and going against West Coast this week. So I thought I'd throw it on for try and give a bit of love to the primos for Melbourne at the moment. And hopefully now, if I'm going to hashtag bless Clayton Oliver, hopefully he performs well this week because I put on a D's jumper.
Love it, Beatty. Love it, mate.
Uncle Lack has put the same thing.
TDK2 Sherry, talked about that one, mate. Probably not, we're thinking, mate. Probably not. Is Long a mid price? Well, he is now, isn't he, boys? Nettie Long, your boy, SuperCoach God.
Yep, the GOAT.
Fraser, negative break even of -5. Wow, so he's sort of been a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't he?
Did you see who said again?
Again. Brilliant Lockie Ash says Coops are too expensive. I'm saying a little bit too expensive, but if you got the cash and you're going for an absolute pod.
If you don't have Sinclair, though, same price.
Yeah, true. Trav had Hall from the Saints and Xavier on bench. Yeah, unlucky, mate. Petrarca or Rankin. Yep, already talked about that one, Varun. Track or Warner, talked about that as well. Trav said Suitcase scored 106 with the tag, which is very impressive.
Tagged for quarter 1, and then Lockie Neal kicked 2 goals, and they're like, why are we tagging this other guy?
Yeah, what's going on? Is Tunstall an in, depending on Loman? Nah, don't go Tunstall, mate.
Because... yeah, we said even Coleman back soon too. So if it wasn't Loman, it's any other player, and Tunstall's out.
Yep. No, Chase Benny, can this man just get a nice cheeky smile from you, mate? Look at that. That is.
I don't really like cheese. Well. I give cheese so much shit. I'm like, who doesn't like cheese?
He's a great man. Tunstall drop from McLaughlin next week. Could easily happen, mate. Zorko, he's got a good matchup against the Saints, doesn't he? Do we have him as, was it the VC game last year, Zorko versus Saints?
He's won a lot of the best on too, I think, as well, Zork, with some of those games when he used to have the good old run in with Tuke Miller. But
yeah.
But this is not unlike Zorko, though. He used to go, even I think a couple of years ago, he'd 130 and then he'd play Geelong and he'd be like 50. And he just kind of had this massive, just spaz out where he's just like scores horrible. And then he just backs it up with some more 120s, 130s. And you're like, oh, there's the guy that I paid for. So if you paid 600 for him, you're upset. If you don't have him, I think he's a great in for 500k. Yep.
There we go.
We all overpaid for someone. I spent 610 on Merit, and he's giving me 190 odd. So
I traded in Dunkley and Zorko at 600k. So that's just terrible.
They'll get back up there, mate. They'll get back up there. Hunter, you said you would have to leave out one of Track, Warner, Rankin, Horny Man. How's that? So
about Daniel.
How's that so? When the other two would be Baz and McRae, because I think you could chip off Daniel soon.
A lot of people wanting to get a Daniel.
Look, my question would be, mate, what's the difference going to be between Daniel and Warner? I'm not too sure. I think the point we were trying to make is that given the fact that we started Daniel at such a low price, he's producing enough that's warranting to be a keeper at the moment. We don't feel that he's a sort of player that you need to trade out. For me, that would be an absolute end of season luxury, if you can. Like, we're not saying that Daniel's definitely top 6, definitely top 8, but the way that he's going at the moment, surely you'd have other problems. I just don't see a reason to be trading out Daniel. Look, if you want to, mate, you lost the faith and you want to jump onto someone else, absolutely go for it. But I just think if Daniel's one of your main concerns, you're going really well, buddy. You're going really well with yourself. All right, Tariq, hey, man, I like Warner since he signed the contract. Something about it. There we go, mate. Hold Dawson. Yes, Lockie. Hold Dawson, we're saying, mate. Bring in Bowie over Dacos and put your feet up, Lizard King, mate. I don't recommend that, but your boy, the Lizard, did pretty well today. DR's back in business. I'm James with these two absolute legends, mate. Appreciate your love, man. BK, thinking no trades this week, but have TDK, Gorn, and Flynn. Is it time to go TDK to Sherry with the upcoming fixtures? We're all saying no to that, aren't we, boys? You just TDK for now, or
that's the tough one though, because if you didn't have Flynn, then you could easily put him in flex. But Flynn's too expensive to put at R3. Unless he's dropped with a low break even, then maybe you could get rid of Boyd for a Huswaite, and instead of going a Neil or someone else, then bring in a Cherry into your flex. That could work.
Yeah, that is different.
Yeah, but that's the issue because Flynn's in most people's flex. You can't have Gorn, Cherry, and TDK. But you can't be that upset. It's like I don't have Bontempelli. I don't have Butters. So there are always going to be people you don't have yet because their teams aren't full. And all we're seeing is like, oh, Gorn went well or Cherry went well. I have to get them. So you're looking at like, hey, I'll get rid of a guy that's just scored 135 when they're averaging similar. So, I think you can still wait on some of those guys. And you have to accept that I didn't have Dacos last week. I didn't have Gorn this week. It's just what's going to happen.
Yeah. Very true. Very true, mate. Right, next one we have Aiden. I'm thinking no trades this week, keeping Levi Ashcroft, Murphy Reed, Lindsay, Bison, Zach Reed on field. Also thinking of keeping Trainer. I think probably the one for me, mate, is Murphy Reed. Is one that I'd seriously be looking at there. Lindsay, no. Bison is fine. Zach Reed's fine. Levi's fine.
Murph's break even to be high, wouldn't it?
64, I think it is, Benny.
I'd be tempted to just go, if you wanted to, just go Murphy Reed to Huswaite, get more money, just make 2 trades next week for an upgrade.
Murph's made 178k.
Yeah, he's
done well.
He's done well. He's made your money. Don't be selfish now. Just cut and run, I think, with Murph.
Yeah, I would too with Murph. Lizard King, Dale for Fraser to facilitate. No, mate, I don't think so. Then I ideally sink Wit in week. Look, sink or Wit, Sinclair in particular. Wow. You want him
cooked or cooking? Cooked or cooking? I love that.
Cooked or cooking. You are cooking with planning for Sinclair in a couple of weeks, mate. But I think Dale for Fraser. Look, compare their scores, mate. They can just do. Yeah, I think that's probably in the more cooked camp, mate. No offense, but. What he can do one week, the other bloke can do. So, I think that would just be a stressful trade, man. Last question, guys. Already have track and can't bring myself to pick the horny man. Can't stand him. What are your thoughts on Warner? I would try to take the emotion out of this, mate, out of SuperCoach, and just go with him. I know it's hard when you don't want to barrack for him and all the rest, but I would probably go the horny man. But what are your thoughts on Warner? Do we think he'll be top 6, 8? Look, he's been pretty inconsistent, but he's certainly got the potential and the capability and the ceiling. Just when he's on that ceiling can be huge.
He'll be top 8. I think he'll be top 8.
Yep.
I agree. You need. I think you need-ish Horn Francis, but it's 4 rounds, I think, until the bye. So what is it? So we're round 8, round 9, round 10, round 11. So they play 4 rounds, and then he has the first bye. So you only have to wait 4 more rounds. Horn Francis has his bye, so you can go Warner, who has the bye 2 rounds later. Warner's cheap, and Horn Francis could easily spud out a 70 or an 81 week. He just doesn't feel like playing. And I like the commentators that were listening to the Port game, because they said in the first 5 minutes, you know if Horn Francis is there to play. Like, he's switched on, he's running, he's really aggressive. He looks like he's there. Yeah. And then there are other games where he's just like, oh, I'm an AFL player. And like, oh, look, the stadium, the lights, the crowd. He just doesn't do anything. So I would wait until after his bye with any of those. Most of the good players are in the first bye. And you don't want to be missing 8 to 10 players just because you want them.
That's great advice again,
and
mate.
Rosie's also in that one too, Alec. Rosie included. Bontempelli, all of them. There's so many good players. Cherry, Sheasel. There's just, Dale. You're going to be hurting already.
Yeah.
Carlton, Northport, and Bulldogs. So many. Chera, TDK, Cherry, Sheasel, all the Port players, the Bulldogs. You're going to be hurting in that bye round if you're trying to upgrade to the first bye. Unless you're going for league, it doesn't matter. Just tank 1 league round, sure. But if you're going for overall, you can't stack the first bye. You just can't.
It's a killer. It's a killer. 2 out of Track, Callaghan, and Warner. Is it pretty easy, Track and Warner, because I've got a good chance of finishing top 6 to 8 in their line, whereas Callaghan, we're thinking, does not have a great chance? Or I'd be going Track and Warner myself. I wouldn't be investing in Callaghan now.
No, Track, Warner, both look top 6 to 7 in their line, whereas Callaghan could be top 20.
Yep. H is hearing that Sardis may come in this week. So, we probably by now would have heard about us talking about him, H. But, one that we'll definitely have a look at, your Essendon boy, mate. Vinny, hey, boys, I'm following the Godfather abs, going to chase value as I do not have 12 million in value. Out Whitfield, Trainer, and Sardis. Well, Sardis may be in this week, mate. In Trent, Rivers, Bussinger, and Warner. Are you trading out Whitfield, dude?
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
Jesus Christ.
No. I love Abs because he does think of things differently. And he was kind of part of the reason I actually thought about trading out TDK as a risk it or, risk it for the biscuit. Either you're going to win or you're going to lose. And that's the mentality that he brings with it, which is awesome. However, when you play that kind of game, Rivers has had a couple good weeks, but I had him in draft and he was horrible for the first sort of 2 weeks, like 50s. Horrible. I traded him out in draft. I haven't even got him back in draft. That's how horrible. So I wouldn't recommend him in standard. Same as the bus, and Chad Warner's very much up and down. So, and we already spoke about Sardis maybe being an in. Trainer, I think if you held last week, you're probably best to just hold anyway because you're kind of in it for at least the next few.
Yep.
And getting rid of the number 1 defender is, I think, brutal. To say the least. So I can understand that. Like, let's just say Brayshaw gets to 700K and you want to trade in, let's say Sarong gets down to 520. Make 180K and go to his brother. Hopefully they turn it around. Then that would be a sell high, buy low. And you play the stock market. You're going to short him. You're going to buy high, sell high, buy low. That would make sense. Whereas this, I think, is more like, playing Russian roulette with 6 bullets loaded.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, there is no way in the world, mate, I'd be trading out Lockie Whitfield. People are falling over themselves to try to get him in. Rollo Bloke Oath Rollinson. Got to be up there with one of the best names out there. There's some bang-on analysis and insight into crucial rookies and trades here, gents. Me and the missus are soaking this up. Have a good one. Cheers, brother. And how good that you're sitting there with the missus, mate. Enjoying some SuperCoach stuff. That is awesome, man. Good on you, buddy.
Hopefully it's the first time she's heard 3 boys at once. Sorry.
Thoughts on Crips, boys? We're not going anywhere near Crips, are we? Surely
No,
not.
I've got a mate. I've got a mate who started him, and he can't stand it. Cannot stand it.
He's cheap too, right? Like it's Walsh or no one now. I think with Chera's injury history and the rest of it, I think. But even Walsh, he's like 570 now. Like he's definitely up in price. And Cripps he did all right today, but he's just trying to monster everything. He's 491k, averaging 95. So yeah, look,
Yeah,
he could pull it together, but first buy as well. So anyone on the first buy, you can just trade because either way, trade to a later buy round.
Yeah, look, I'll speak for someone. I'll speak to a lovely lady, Chloe Williams, who's doing some potties, the official potties with Al Payton and the boys there. Lucky enough to get a seat in the box for the Anzac Day game with Al Payton and Chloe. And Chloe actually owns Patrick Cripps. She's a big Carlton girl and said it's been terrible. It is terrible. And she just wants out of the pick. So yeah, can't give the thumbs up for Cripper, unfortunately, mate. And Jonas the Goat says Sardis had a month worth of tackles in his last VFL game. That's why he needed the rest. So based off that,
subjective. That's subjective. Maybe he only gets 2 tackles a game and he had 8 tackles. Like
actually,
a month's worth of tackles.
This is why you question these things, mate. Mitch says, do you reckon Ashcroft and Oliver are holds, or do I upgrade them both to top tier primos? I have 230k spare cash. I'd be holding. I think we'd all agree, mate, would be holding at this stage. And if you've got that cash, that's great. But yeah, probably hold for now, man. Seriously, what the F to do with Stu? Oh, what
did he score?
I don't even.
We should call him Wombat Stew. You probably heard that
Wombat
one.
Just another
Wombat
shocking.
Stew.
Just another shocking thing I've done.
Oh, you've got to love that, kids. Yeah, absolutely, mate. He scored a 67. Wow.
Just another shocking thing I did, trading him in after round 1 after I tried to get rid of.
He's 436.
I had to get rid of Perry.
But last week, uncharacteristically, he actually ran underneath the footy twice. So as in, if you even just as a visual eye test. So yes, he copped some knocks and did look hurt. But last week, the ball's in the air and normally intercepts his forte. Like that's his bread and butter. That's his strength. Right? When he's feeling good, he's just plucking everything. He actually ran under the footy and the intercept went over his head, which is probably everything you need to say about avoiding Stewart because he's low on confidence. If you're misjudging the flight of the ball, that's not good. Right? O'Sullivan's kind of doing a lot of he's kind of picking up the slack a little bit. And then today, again, he kind of got hurt. So to the point where, if you're running under the ball, you get hurt, things aren't going well, you start arguing with the umpires and trying to go for free kicks. That's kind of the visual I got from Stewart where things aren't going well and he's trying to kind of milk freeze or blame the umpires a little bit because he's just not in a happy spot. So I would be avoiding until he's clunking some more marks.
Great advice. And SuperCoach God, and with a grain of salt, with a score in the 60s again, he'll be at about 407k next week, if that's the case. So, yeah, a bit of a fall from grace from the man. Shawnee Martin, short to Whitfield or Levi to Petrarca? Short to nothing pick, isn't he? But you're paying up.
Keeps a rookie off field. Levi.
Oh, come on now. Levi's averaging 75. Short's probably averaging 85. I mean, they're both rookies. Let's be fair.
Yeah. Are you paying as much?
I'd do Levi to Petrarca because Whitfield's. I'm now looking at trying to get cheaper prices for these players. I'm not paying 600k for Whitfield. I'm waiting till he goes to like a 570 or something if he can get to that. So yeah,
Petrarca against West Coast with a 70 break even.
Yeah,
it's probably where you're going. And then short over the buys.
Yep, agree. Should have got Relton Robertson. Absolutely, Paul. The absolute GOAT, Relton. Reece Clark, Wangani Miller, or Lockie Ash. They're 3 very good selections. We've gone through all these players. So Clark, we looked at his consistency and buy. Benny talked about his role, some of the changes from last year. Wangani and Miller, we talked about the fact he's been kicking goals. He's been coming into the midfield, even spent a little bit of time forward, not much, but a slight bit. And Lockie Ash is like the ultimate pod at the moment, but we're really paying up. So I would personally, boys, say Jordan Clark. just because of the current price.
Yeah,
and
I own Clark, same buy as Wangan and Miller.
What's the difference in price?
It's about 40K. So Clark's cheaper. So on that fact, you probably go the cheaper guy, right? But
so Naz 577.
Yeah, and he's 34, I think it is. So it's about 40. Yeah.
And you got Ash at
78?
572. Close, yeah,
Okay.
572.
See, Ash is the one. Everyone's undermining Ash. But
they are.
It's more of a can he keep it up scenario rather than yes, he's good and he's doing well and he's a great guy and he was a first round pick, a top 6 pick, and he was very high. He was a very high pick, right? The thing that interests me though is that the GWS midfield was getting smacked and they shouldn't get smacked. The differential on clearances was huge. It was probably one of the biggest they've had, and it shouldn't happen that way. They got Green, they got Callahan, they should actually be winning clearances, and they've been getting smacked to the point when they were losing by so much in that third quarter that, they actually changed it up and put Ash into the midfield. So maybe that is the catalyst for him going 140 this week. I don't know. But it is very interesting because whatever's happening in the GWS midfield isn't working. And when it wasn't working, he's kind of going, well, stuff it. Let's just try a few things. And we'll put Ash into the midfield, so it'll be interesting to see if he's named in the midfield next week, it'd be interesting to see because I've been kind of holding off and I've been saying, oh yeah, but he can't keep it up. Do you know what I mean? There's no pilot program for Ash. So I want to see where he's named this week. And that was an ED joke. God, sorry, mate. You don't probably experience that. But he, the pilot program. But yeah, so I'm keen to see where he's named this week, but he could easily continue averaging 110 and we just go, oh, he's that one guy we thought about it, but we're like, oh, he can't just keep scoring. And then he just keeps on doing it. So
you're absolutely right, mate. Yeah, without a doubt. All right. Archer Reed, Clay Hall, and Max Hall. McDonald, Hust, and Warner. Clay Hall, Max Hall. Max Hall's got money to make, doesn't he, with that new score in his system?
Yeah, he does. I would be trading on Max Hall. No way.
Oh, Clay, right. So 2 players that are best 22 and a rookie who has money to maybe make for 2 players who may or may not be best 22 and Warner.
I'm going no.
Yeah.
I'm going no, Jinx.
If Max Hall gets let's say gets 367s, which is that's his projected. So let's just say he gets that 367s. He'll go up 44K more.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
No, Max has performed well, so well he might even get a hall pass from his missus.
I like that. You are very clever when it comes to words, Betty. I'll tell you what, mate. All right. I said 11 o'clock. It's 11:33.
30.
All right, boys. If you need to go, please do not let me hold you here. I'm going to turbo. I know I say this. I'm going to absolutely turbo through this. I love you all, guys. If I am a little bit quick and blunt, I do apologize, but You're
right. I think most of the comments we have commented in jest, or I've kind of messaged in. So I think you're well within your realm to kind of speed. I think you're within your right to speed through. Most of it is repetition. Outside of a couple of comments about I think the stream was lagging a little bit in parts. There's some conversations. There was one about looking at you can get Lockie Neal this week, or Dunkley next week will be a lot cheaper, and people kind of toying up between those, which is valid. But also, I think once the games are up for grabs in the back end of the year, and you'll attest to this, Lockie Neal averaging huge amounts consistently for the last sort of 5 years, right? When the game's there to be won, he stands up. And I think with the back end of the season and everything's there, I think that's when he will perform. Dunkley's been an unsung hero because I'm so glad we got him. And if he went to a club that was struggling, he would be the number 1 ball winner and he could do his thing. Yep. Right, but when you put in Will Ashcroft and Lockie Neal and let's say McCluggage and some of these other dynamic players around them, Dunkley's he's the selfless, accountable one that if he needs to, like on grand final day, he hugged Heaney to oblivion. And he will do that. He will do that for the team. He does it for the team. Yeah, he does it for the team. And if they need to run with someone, he will do it. He will run with them and he will be selfless and he won't score that day and he doesn't care. Whereas, Lockie Neal is more of that consistent ball winner because he just sees ball, gets ball, and they free him up to do what he does best. Whereas Dunkley's more selfless. And because of that selflessness, I wouldn't pick him over Neal because any given week, sometimes he gets off the chain and you go, wow, that's Dunkley. And other weeks you go, oh, yeah, that's Dunkley doing the team thing. And you can't be upset when he does the team thing and scores poorly.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
He's doing it for his mates. So, yep.
And I've heard Fag say before that he's the closest thing he's seen to Luke Hodge as well, Josh Dunkley, and all his professionalism and stuff like that. So I think that's very, very high praise. Regan, how are you, mate? A great Brisbane Lions supporters, Regan. So great to see you, mate. Now, I can see Benny has answered most of these here.
I better go. I got work. I got work at 6:30. So
much love, mate. I'm literally. I'm going 5 more minutes. Minutes.
Easy.
Good to see you. Anyone that doesn't know, I'm sure you do. Please check out SuperCoach God's channel. A great man, doing plenty of lives himself as well. So looking forward to your round review, brother. Make sure you check it out. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yep. Cheers, he's got the pearly whites on too.
Oh, there we go.
Pearls and it's white. Good catching up.
Ben, the news is Elijah coming sources around the club. Shield might get rested. So there you go. H is on to that. Haven't answered this one. Who would you downgrade this week out of Davidson, Levi, Pryor?
I think Pryor's made enough. Enough.
Philip, is it time to trade Will Ashcroft up to a Dicuss or Petrarca? I don't think you have to, mate. We've talked about that, but we've got a little bit more faith in him. 35 disposals, scammed on the scoring. Yeah, it's one of those things, mate.
But most of his handballs are so quick. He gets the ball and goes handball, so it's kind of
how quick are those reflexes, mate?
But
and almost the other thing is a lot of the time they're not contested, but like when he gets it, it feels like it's contested because the traffic's coming on and he needs to get it off so quickly.
I was about to say he needs to wait half a second more to kind of get the tackle and then get rid of the ball. Whereas he's so quick. He's pretty much like his goal of the year. He just gets him in there and just Judai kicks it. Whereas mate, just catch it, wait for the pressure, and then get the handball, and then it's contested, and you get so many more points for a handball.
Exactly right, Betty. Exactly right. Keen on Matt Kennedy, even better with Bomb back. Yeah, look, he's definitely going to be up there, mate. We don't have him quite top 6 to 8.
Fraser's killed it with Bond back. Huge.
Oh, hasn't he?
Huge with Bond back.
Could I even trade out Nank and swing Flynn at R2 for a couple of weeks?
Nank did pretty well this week, didn't he?
I think so.
I'd probably go Nank to Cherry, though, because you probably went, if anyone went Nank or Meek, they're probably expecting them to be sort of competitive, although Meek after his 160, you just can't get rid of him. But Nank, he did go 106. Yeah, I'd probably go Nank out to...
Yeah.
If you want to hold Flynn for a couple of weeks, yes, but as soon as Flynn's dropped, you need to bring in a premium, and then at that point, Cherry and Gorn might be too expensive, and even TDK. So I'd probably do it now if I could.
Yeah, sweet, mate. Sorry, Benny, you've answered that. Trev, Luke, thank you very much, brother. Another $2 for about for Jack. Appreciate you, man. Surely you trade out Davidson, then Levo. I would trade out Davidson first. Quick one here, Benny. This is interesting. Thoughts on Sicily or Flanders? I wouldn't be going near any of them at the moment, but they're the sort of blokes that we know their potential when they're on, they're on. I actually put on the watch list.
I actually made a joke because Patton was on Flanders, and I was like, no wonder he can't find the ball because Flanders is going nowhere near it. Like he's been horrible, and it's not his fault because previously he was playing defense and then up in the midfield or at least moving up to the contest. Now I think Flanders had no preseason, so I do rate him. However, he's 489k with a break even of 159 and only averaging 75, so it would be a big hit and hope. But Flanders at a low 400s. I'd probably do it just for the sake that no one's on him, and he is a quality player. So sometimes you do have to actually hope that they turn it around.
That's a good point, mate.
He is playing forward-ish though, so but again, he's already dropped about 130k. So I mean, sometimes with those kind of guys, you just have to hit and hope and go quality player. They'll turn it around. He gets the bottom price, and you're looking for something to turn around because he had no preseason, so it might take him 10, 12 weeks. After the buy, if he looks like he's starting to get it together, then jump on him at a cheap price and hope to ride at home.
Yep, love it, mate.
Sicily, I think, is done. They're flipping him too much.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You just don't know. I think he probably stays back. You got a couple of defenders
this week.
Out.
Yeah, this week.
But moving forward, mate, just not too sure. We're almost at the end, Benny. You're a legend, mate. Jake Wood, hey, fellas, I'm in the 2%. Have 24 trades left in the boost. Should I be getting in Austin McDonald for Clay Hall, Sam Layla for Huswaite, and Levi for Heaney? Or do I keep my boost? I'd be keeping the boost, Benny. You keeping that boost?
Yeah, that's early. Even like Law still has a high ceiling. I mean, is he at 310k? So he's made 100. Okay, maybe then. Okay, there's a little bit of cash there, but yeah, no, I think Clay Hall will get another game, and then you'll be 220k, and you can make 100.
Yeah,
no point making 70. No point making 70 because most of the time they traded like Henderson to a Clay Hall and made 50, and now they're going to make 70. It's 2 trades for 100k. It's horrible.
Yeah, good point, mate. Davidson or Murphy Reed? Ask H. Who goes?
Murph first.
Murph. I'd be saying Murph. He's got the high break even. I think Davidson's around a 50. So I'd be probably saying Murph H. If you didn't get that goal, geez, you got a really ripping goal as well. That score could have been.
Yeah, but he only got 4 for that because the game was done, which was a big scaling conversation. Normally a goal's 8 points and you kick it and you might get more. If it's a close game, you get scaling. The game was done. He got 4 points. Yeah, Bond got 10 points off the ground because he was influential. He was influential in winning the game when he was on. So scaling went towards him and not towards the late goals, which a few people were a bit peeved off. Fremantle are playing, which is big dependent. They're playing Saints at Metricon. Zach Bailey did well, so maybe Murph will go well, but that high half forward kind of role, he links up and gets score assists. If Fremantle do well, he links up well. If they don't, he gets shut down a little bit more. Young player is inconsistent. So I think he's probably good to go. Whereas Davidson, he could, if he pulls it all together, he could go another 100.
Yeah, true. He's got that.
So I'd hold him for another week more. Both can go though.
Yep, with you, mate. Josh, g'day, lads. Thoughts on Kako, Davidson, and Stuart Spud out for Track, Neil, and I love that in brackets, Spud. Track, Neil, and Rookie, Bussingler or Huswaite.
Ooh, that's good. I mean, you probably don't have to get rid of Stuart, but I understand the Spud feeling. I think that's good though. Track, Neil, both I think will be very valuable, and I'd go Huswaite over Bussingler this week. Yeah, I'd do that too. Kako, Davidson gone.
Jonas, fellas, at what round are you doing your state of the team address? State of the team address.
Is that where you kind of look at how your team's traveling and who you brought in? And
possibly. I sort of just do the usual round reviews and that, mate. But maybe something midstream. We'll all mid-season. We'll all get together and do something. We'll get some people involved in that, mate. Stewart's isn't the same anymore. Looks injured. Doesn't fly for intercepts. Benny mentioned before that he's not even reading the ball too well at times. So, very frustrating there. Answer that. Robbie, g'day, fellas. Am I nuts if I trade out Dale, Oliver, and Chera to get in Brayshaw, Roberts, and Flynn?
A little bit late.
Yeah, I don't like that too much myself, mate. Very, very sidewaysy there, mate.
Brayshaw's at a 666k too, so I mean that's just a bad omen in general.
He's coming. He's got a copper tag soon, Benny. Yeah. Surely this bloke's got a copper tag soon.
I think people are already talking like, can you please tag Brayshaw? Like Sarong's not even doing that well. Like
that's right.
He's kind of fading in and out of games. He's not performing that well. So I'm like, you're tagging him on prior instance. You're not tagging him on current form, which is crazy to me.
Just joined. Did Dodgy Malacca? I assume that there's been Flynn talk. Did his job security take a hit today or increase? Lost the hit out contest by 30, but scored 100 plus. I don't really have any thoughts on that, Benny. I just assume that he's done well enough to keep his spot. Do you think any differently? Or
lost hit outs, but he actually did quite a lot around the ground. So he took some intercepts, put some tackles on, got the handball receive and linked up pretty well around the ground. So yes, you lost the hitouts 2-1 and was getting smashed in the hitouts. So it is a big part of it. However, what he did around the ground, I think, was probably more supplementary to what Williams or someone else would do. Now, Williams, I think, only had 28 hitouts in the waffle. So it wasn't like crazy big numbers where he had 40, 50 hitouts and you're just dominating to kick someone out. So he could get dropped, Flynn, but he also, I think, did enough around the ground to intercept, to tackle, to pressure, to release other players by handballing a ball to link up that I think he could probably keep his spot. I'm actually thinking maybe they even play 2 rucks against Gore next week, which would be weird, but they might rest Arch Reed and go, hey, we'll give you a week rest. Flynn, we know he can rest forward anyway and kick some goals. And then they go, let's just double tag team the monster. And it's possible.
Exactly right, mate.
That's probably what I would do. I'd spare the young fella. Have a week's rest. You've been going great. Young person playing your first season. Let's get the 2 guys here. Flynn can rest forward. Williams can rest forward if he needs to. We'll go to the bench and we'll just double tag team the monster. And it'll suck for Flynn owners. But if I was a coach, I'd probably look at that as an option to kind of try and overwork Maxi differently.
Yep, absolutely, because you need to, mate, I think, at the moment. Benny's answered that one. Thanks, mate. I agree as well. On Neil. Is Rosie a must? No, I don't think we are saying he's a must, but when DPP comes around, take a look after the buys, hopefully. Anyone I would help with Shearer? So it was a bit of groin, wasn't it? Oh, Benny, legend. I think we're pretty much done. 4 more. No, that's that. All right, 3 more. Dalek thinking Davidson to Huswaite, SDK to Zorko. However, if Shearer is out, I'll go Bont instead of Zorko. Case of break glass in case of emergency. Thoughts? Davidson, SDK.
Okay, the big thing with, let's say, so Bont does occasionally drop low games, right? And they did sub him out. So if they get ahead again and they're 40 points ahead, let's say, and they're going to probably rest him. So Port, Suns, Essendon, Geelong. Now, they play Geelong just before the bye. Essendon, Setterfield, maybe. I doubt it. Suns will probably put match like head-to-head with a Real or someone or rather on him. Port will probably put someone like a Jew or someone on him. Whereas Geelong are probably the more accountable ones where the Atkins will try and restrict. So the other thing to note is Bontempelli has also he's been playing forward a lot more too, resting forward because of the injuries and stuff they've had. So they've been putting, him forward a little bit more. So I think there is a poor score coming. I think you just have to kind of wait it out for Bont.
Yeah, agree, mate. Absolutely agree. 2 more to go. Primordial Quasar. Do I keep holding Saligo? Ooh, Saligo is an interesting one. He's had it down a couple of weeks, I think. Saligo. So 457K after looking like one of the best midfielders, I think, to open up the season, those first. It's
an easy one, though. If you started Saligo, then you can probably trade out because you went for it, and it's probably he's had a couple of down rounds, and you go, okay, I'll get out of it. Now, if you brought him in, I think you kind of need to now stick with and stick fat a bit more and get to the buys because otherwise you're trading in. Oh, I'm not that happy anymore, and then you trade out and you burnt 2 trades to go to someone else that you may or may not be happy with. So, if you started him, you could probably afford to trade. If you brought in, you've already used the trade, so you might as well now run that train to the buys and then buy flip him, and that's probably your best scenario of trying to make an actual decent profit.
Yeah. 114, 108, 108, 126, then the 63, 71, and a 91. So, yeah, absolutely fallen off there. And the last one we have, Benny, is from Fury. Is there any rookies worth getting in this week or save the trades? Yeah, we've talked a lot about this, mate. So, I think we're agreeing if you're going early, it's probably
Huswaite
going for. It looks like he's probably, we're hoping he's got at least 3 more weeks in the side, which would equate to 2 price rises when Nash comes back. Being pretty impressive, doing some great stuff in the VFL. So we're saying probably if you're looking to go early, then it's Huswaite, or else you got your Oscar McDonald types. But
that's a good question, though. Oscar McDonald or Buslinger? Because that's very much 50-50. Would you go Oscar McDonald on the bubble now, or would you go bustling it early? Because I don't think we've compared the two, and that's probably as good of a decision that you're going to have, right?
It is. It is. I'm almost.
Yeah.
So if McDonald plays this week, this is the thing. He's guaranteed at least one price rise. Huss isn't guaranteed anything at the moment. Like, there's no guarantees in this game. But if we're using an educated guess here, Benny, I think we both agree that we're thinking Huswaite is looking like he's going to get at least 2. But this is very much a prediction.
Yep.
So I am probably... And can we hide
if Jackson's name? Let's say Jackson's named and McDonald is also named.
Oh, that makes
Would that change it?
But what's his role going to be? Because he's not going to be that chop out second ruck anymore, is he? He's purely going to be playing the Voss role, you'd think, up forward.
Or they've been playing him forward or defense. I think they've been moving him around and then using him as second ruck. So the second ruck's gone. Jackson's in.
Yeah.
Or
that's
and even better, which would be a best case scenario, because the only realm I'll bring him in this week, and I'll tell you, they drop Darcy and they play Jackson ruck. And then McDonald gets to keep doing whatever McDonald does, which would be awesome.
Yes. In that case, I'm going
pick.
Oscar. Yep. Easy, mate. Easy. Team sheet's going to be a big one. Look, ideally, you're just doing an upgrade this week if you've got some cash in the bank. One up would just be lovely this week. If you've got the chance, if you've got 250 to 300K, if you're that squirrel that's been saving the nuts in the tree, and you've got your Murphy Reed, for example, sitting there, that is just the ideal situation or scenario to be in this week, I think.
Probably the only one, isn't he? Like if Chera gets injured, or if Chera's injured or suspended, then you might move him. But otherwise, I think it's Murphy Reed, and he's the only real pain in the ass that people might actually go. Or Davidson, if you can go money on Davidson, I'd probably do that too. I think you could do him to a Petrarca or a Warner if you had the money to go that straight up. I think that's easy. Whereas, trying to make money at the moment, it's kind of hard because,
bloody nightmare, mate. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it is. And,
Benny,
we
are done, mate. I just want to very quickly just give a big thanks to Trav for your donation, mate, as well as Murray, Yaron, and Uncle Akka. This is a quick maths. That's 36, 56, $58 tonight for a bat for Jack. So, guys, thank you very much. Benny, I need to start giving some donations for you, mate, because
no. I was going to say
massive in these last 2 weeks, mate.
Those people on there, SC Insider 100, if you are around. No, but the other thing though is that because like Swizz hasn't recorded and Chris hasn't recorded, so it worked out well that I jumped on for you guys last week. And you go through the train of emotion where sometimes you feel really good. I didn't record much for about 3-4 week period, and I've been really enjoying it lately, which is why I've done the extras, because this is my fun time, right? The kids are asleep. But the other thing as well is that the donations here, I do want to shout out to you, because without the donations, things don't keep rolling. Now, the amount of time that you put in, the time to create, the time to edit, the time to actually sit and do it, most of it is kind of selfless. Like, yes, you get some YouTube revenue. Yes, you get the donations. However, without it, you are pretty much running at a loss for your time, and it's a loss at a passion project. Do you know what I mean? So please do. So please do though. Continue regardless of who you support. Do you know what I mean? So as in, we're all a very good community. So regardless of who you support, please do, at least if you can, give the donations at least to somebody, or subscribe to a Patreon for somebody, because it does help things to continue. Because there's nothing worse than go, oh, my favorite person stopped doing it. It's like, well, yeah, because it is a passion project and things happen and get in the way where we can't continue to do the things we love. And it does help when there is at least some monetary value coming in to at least sustain the passion.
Absolutely, mate. The work that you guys have done for years and years and years, really, it is through passion, it is through love, but it does take a lot of time, doesn't it, mate? Yep. It is a lot of effort and a lot of commitment. But for anyone, look, I'm sure that every single person that's watched this stream or will watch it later on replay or whatever, you will know who Benny is. But Benny, Swizz, and Chris, what a trio. with what they do for SuperCoach Insider. Not only are they really knowledgeable at the games, but they're different personalities. They give each other that much grief that I absolutely love it. But it is always in great fun and banter, and they're just a brotherhood like we are in the Swordplay. And really, regardless of your insider, your Swordplay, wherever you are, we are all literally good mates, and never see each other as competition or whatever. Like retweet for each other, go on each other's streams and channels and all the rest. The best thing about this great game is actually, the friendships and the networking that you make. But in all seriousness, if you want some great SuperCoach content, go to SuperCoach Insider, because you've got 3 great men there that play the game differently, that have different ideas. And there is nothing better than seeing Benny and Chris just disagree about a pick, because you get a bit of entertainment with the banter, but you're like, oh, Benny's saying this. All right, yes, I'm off him. And then Chris says something like, nah, I'm back on. And you're just constantly going back and forth because people have different ideas and opinions. And at the end of the day, don't do exactly as we say, but maybe listen in to what different people have to say and then work out what you believe to be the best move. But Benny,
Swizz is the mediator as well, because Chris had Gorn and was giving me so much crap, right? And then he doesn't have Cherry, so then Cherry scores a 158. And I'm like, oh, all that crap you gave me, it's worth 14 points. Like, come on. But yeah, and it's interesting because that's why, we are such a good community, and I wish I was getting YouTube commission on this time, but you do it for the fun, and obviously we have such respect for you as well. And, and everyone does look at it differently. So we don't care who you listen to, but just note that everyone has different perspectives. And even, as you said, Chris, Swizz, and myself, we look at the game different ways. Like, I'm very much statistics and analytical as far as, what I see, but also backing up the data and the numbers. And then Swizz kind of rounds things out really well because he kind of has a really good perception on the game. And then Chris will come up with things where what teams are actually doing, how they're structuring up, how they're trying to play, and how that frees different people up in different roles. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't actually see that. So there are a lot of people that have different views and they see the game differently. And you kind of take on board, and you either take it or you leave it. And there are some people that resonate with you, or there are some people where your teams are aligned more with yours. Or you might be like, SuperCoach God, and you're going, well, what am I doing with my team? How am I going to get out of this and be competitive with my mates? And whatever it is, I need to take these risks, X, Y, and Z. Or you might go, my team is similar to this person or this person, and what am I going to do? So, it's good. And the reason I say shout out to give you, the people that are giving you so much love in the donations is because it is tough work. And I think we ran at a loss for about 4 or 5 years. And it's a passion project where you're paying the monthly fees and the time without the monetary value. And that's where YouTube's good. So if you are there and an ad pops up, please just let it run through, or, because that's kind of the only real value that we kind of get as, creators, is the YouTube and the revenue that we create. Because otherwise, the Spotify's or the audio platforms, you don't get paid for. It's the donations and it's YouTube. So support however you can, because that little bit of support allows us to continue year after year. Otherwise, it's like the Jock Reynolds and the others that switch hands or fade out. And it is sad. But,
it is, mate. It is, because they're bloody good blokes. And I tell you, anyone that, again, has done this, make sure you do head over to SuperCoach Insider. Benny, for anyone that's not aware what your socials are, mate, go through them for us, mate, before we end the stream.
Yeah,
mate.
no, just
there's going to be a flood there now.
SC Insider on pretty much anything. So Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You can just search SuperCoach Insider. And so Chris, Swizz, and myself usually do our weekly or bi-weekly. More bi-weekly for Chris, but because he's into that thing. But no, we usually talk about our teams, and then we usually get together once a week. But it's obviously kids and the rest of it. So sometimes Swizz and myself, or I'll just get on talk footy with you or some other guys. We have a big chat group with a whole bunch of creators. So, yeah, that's it. That's Inside 100.
And I'm just going to very quickly get that up on the screen here for everyone to absolutely be able to see this. So, SuperCoach Insider, share screen. Here I am. Geez, getting towards the end of the night here, Benny. But here we go, guys. SuperCoach Insider. As you can see, geez, pushing 4K subscribers as well. And this is what we're talking about. 698 videos. Just amazing. And that's not including all of the videos where Swizz, Chris, or Benny jumps onto other channels, other live streams, and donates their times for other content creators as well. And this is sort of stuff that you're getting here, guys. So almost 700 videos. Let's absolutely get this up to 4K because, deserve even more than that. So, Benny, cannot thank you enough, brother, for coming on again, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on for a couple of weeks. And this has been going for 3.5 hours. I said to Lisa, I said, look, Lisa, I'll be going for about an hour, just a quick one tonight. But it is 11:59. So, Benny, we've made it to midnight, mate. Cannot thank you enough, brother. Let me know, mate. I'm going to have to jump on your channel soon, mate, and just start to give a little bit back.
That's all right. I was just looking at the footy positive there on the right, mate. That was a great episode, actually.
Mate, we need to get back on that. That was actually one of the most fun chats I've had doing SuperCoach, mate. Really, and it wasn't just.
I think that was life in general, wasn't it? I think that the next one, as a quick exit note, was even just for any of the dads out there as well, almost the selflessness you have to be to kind of put yourself last. I think would be probably a good episode where it is tough sometimes trying to make sure all the wheels are moving before you can kind of take care of the house. But it'd be an interesting part from dad to dad on how you put yourself last and kind of get through it.
Mate, that we need to lock that in. Absolutely lock that in, Benny. Absolutely lock it in because that was some of the most fun I've had. And it was just it was just great to talk. Yeah, we talked a little bit about your footy and your SuperCoach, but just life in general, mate, values and family and all the rest. So that was a ripper of a chat, Benny. And the great thing about that episode is that you can go back and watch that. It's not like my round reviews where they're relevant for a week. You can go back and watch that, footy positives, and it will certainly still be relevant to whatever's happening today, mate. So definitely need to lock that one in again, Benny.
Well, if you do a 2-hour pod instead, we can do an hour and a half of this other thing.
Let's do it.
I appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Much love again, Benny. Thanks for joining me again, mate. And thanks, guys. There's still 87 people that are here at the moment at midnight. I think we clocked over 300 at some stage there. So that is Lee, guys. Thank you very much for all your love and support. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Benny.